Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 14 of Les Oderants. I am Dan. I am joined, as always, by the finest minds in perfumery, James, Ben and Fliss. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Right, and we're starting this week with a story from Fliss, who's going to explain... Basically, she was just about to tell us, and I said, no, let's start recording, because I think I want to know this.
Well, I think it started with, I broke a man's thumb once.
Yeah, exactly. She said, I broke a man's thumb once, and then...
Unprompted, we should mention.
Yeah, and then we didn't quite get to the bottom of it. Unprompted. Oh, no, what were we talking about? We're talking about the Deliveroo driver that had his thumb bitten off or something. Fliss once broke a man's thumb. Fliss, could you explain that for us?
I'm not proud of it.
I don't know. I saw the look on your face.
You sounded pretty proud of it.
But I am a little bit proud of it. Basically, I was in a nightclub and the barman kept throwing ice cubes down my cleavage. And I said, please stop. And he said, no. And he kept throwing ice on my cleavage. I said, if you do that again, you'll be sorry. And he said, no. And he threw another cube of ice down my cleavage. And I reached out my hand as if to let him kiss my hand to say sorry. And then I grasped his hand in a kind of clench and I twisted and I clicked and I broke his thumb. And he wasn't able to throw any more ice down.
What sort of fucking bar is this?
When
in Margate.
It was an actor's bar. No, it was an actor's bar in London.
What exactly is the address? Asking for a friend.
And when I told my husband, that was the moment he said that he fell in love with me.
Did the bouncers throw you out?
Wow, nice.
No, they didn't.
This is some rough streets you've been hanging out in. I'll tell you what.
I know I sound very posh, but I can take care of myself.
I mean, I've hung out in some dingy bars in my life, but never have I hung out in a bar where you can get away with breaking the barman's thumb and nothing comes of it. Like, you'd expect at least the bouncers to step in there and escort you kindly out.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he was being hugely misogynistic, trying to use my tits as a... No, all the bouncers loved me. And you can't use my tits as a target for ice cubes. Fuck off, you cunt.
Right, you heard it here. You cannot use Fliss's tits as a target. The tit target is not okay. I did say sorry. I want everyone to know that I did say sorry. I didn't mean to break it. I meant to just hurt him a little bit. It just
How
went
did
a
you
bit
know his
far.
thumb was broken, though?
Was it the feel as you crumpled it in your hand?
How did I know I broke it? Because you can hear the crunch and then you see them fall down in pain on the floor and hold their hand a lot. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome to Les Oderants.
I did used to be a stunt. I did used to be a stunt woman. So, fighting is not a long way from what I used to do. I just used to always do it safely, but I knew where the rules were between safe and unsafe, and I just didn't do the unsafe. Well, I didn't do the safe bit and just went for the whole hog.
If only you had a fucking crash mat, eh? Everyone would have been fine.
Or just tapped out a bit. He could have tapped out, but he could have stopped throwing ice down my tits.
Well, good job you were trained, so you knew not to break your own thumb.
I could have broken more if he'd been more of a... Well, you know what. Anyway, I'm still friends with him. It's fine.
Okay, good. I mean, this is... we have a lot of very weird starts to the show, but I mean, the Ice Cube tit
This
target
wasn't meant to be the start of the show. This is meant to be a private story between friends.
It's funny. I was going to ask, actually, this is quite a coincidence, but I was going to ask in part 2, what would your top 10 tit target broken thumb perfumes be? It's the surprise has gone. You've spiked.
Well, I haven't told you what I was wearing at the time, but we can save that for part 2.
Jesus Christ!
I think we could have a guess. Definitely a top 10 for breaking a man's thumb is up there with a.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think let's not talk any more about
let's not.
the ice thumb target tit incident thing. Maybe we'll pick it up in part 2, but that's a hell of a way to start. Thank you.
It's fine.
Okay,
thank you.
so Fliss, I mean, it's hard to follow on from that, but what are you going to talk about perfume-wise this week? What can you tell us that's fun and interesting?
Oh, God, I feel like I need to take a break before I say anything, but let's just go for it. I wore a sample of Annabelle's Birthday Cake by Marissa Zappas, which...
The whole perfume is called Annabelle's Birthday Cake?
Yeah.
Who's Annabelle?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Isn't that a song? Who the fuck is Annabelle?
I don't know. I don't know any of the story behind it. I haven't done that research. All I know is I got a sample from St. Celier and I really liked it. It's like a big pink neon bright take on spun sugar, but there's a latex balloon to it, which is the birthday bit, I think. And it's gourmand without being shitty gourmand. It's like quite grown up in that respect, and I really liked it. And it has quite a solar, clean vanilla to it. And every time I sort of got a waft of it, I was like, "Oh, that's nice." And there's a rose water in it that makes it smell a little bit like, it reminds me of Rochas Tocard. But there's also some heliotrope and some cacao pod, which just tarts it up a little bit and makes it not, that like really tooth-rotting gourmand that's been around for the last 18 months. It's not that. It's not that at all. And it's happy. I don't think I need a bottle, but it is very happy, and I enjoyed wearing it. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And I think I don't know enough about Marissa Zappas. I know she's an indie perfumer that's in Cellier stock. But I enjoyed it.
I've never even heard of her. Marissa Zappas.
Zappas, yeah.
As in Frank Zappa with an S on the end.
Yeah.
Plural Zappas, yeah.
So I got the website up. Annabelle's Birthday Cake is named after the inspiration for the scent, Annabelle Gatt, who is apparently the astrologer for the Vice website before it imploded. This eccentric and otherworldly eau de parfum evokes celebration, sweetness, and the bliss of embarking on another trip around the sun. Rich tuberose frosting and candied rose petals on a bed of fluffy white cake.
Did you just say astrologer?
Yes. Annabelle Gatt Annabelle Gatt wrote the daily and monthly horoscope column at Vice from 2015 until the...
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So she's a
horoscopes.
Yeah. Horoscope.
Not my thing, horoscopes.
No, bullshit, aren't they?
You know who's into horoscopes, don't you?
Who?
Morons. Just like morons are into horoscope. I ended up in a fucking argument on Facebook. I end up in lots of arguments on Facebook, but with some woman who basically said that I was invalidating thousands of years of practice, and that this was incredibly presumptuous and rude of me. It's like, yep, presumptuous and rude. That is me all over. But I mean, honestly, horoscopes. Get to fuck.
I mean,
But you've got to assume that she did it for the Vice website, so you've got to assume there's something a bit quirky about it because
right.
Vice. I can't imagine Vice would have like a.
Just grab that bitch by the thumbs. That's it. That's what I say.
Snap.
I think I know who Marissa Zappas is. I follow her on the thing because she was kind of an interesting sort of indie person. I haven't tried any of her perfumes. She's got very nice sort of curly ringlet kind of hair. Have you seen her?
Yeah, she's very...
No. Yeah, that's it. That's all I know about her.
Ringlets. You don't hear the word ringlet so much these days,
what I mean? That kind of like curly hair that's like that. And yeah, I was always like, oh, I'm going to try her stuff, and I'm kind of not surprised that St. Celier have. And yeah, it's probably quite interesting. I knew that it wouldn't just be, I'm just calling it Annabelle's birthday for the sake of it. It has to have some. I would have thought all
I would
her
definitely say
like that.
It's not. It does. I mean, although it smells indie because it's an indie brand, it has an element of sophistication to it that I really enjoyed. And I'm looking, and just by the name, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but the latex note and this kind of big solar, very, very clean vanilla gives it almost like a neon feel. If it had been, if Christoph Lauderdale released it as part of the Zoo, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, if you know what I mean. It has that texture.
Yeah, don't take my word for it, but I think that completely ties in with it, because although she is an indie perfumer, I think she has some form of formal training.
Yeah.
As far as I know,
there's a sophistication to it that I really enjoyed. Yeah. I don't need it because it's not completely my style, but I mean, if fun vanilla is your thing and you don't want that designer vanilla that's been out for a long time, then it's great. Get a sample. It's brilliant.
Okay. Well, fun vanilla is not my thing, so that sounds like a pass for me. What's next?
I have been having a little bit of a DS and Durga trip. Nick Chanel sent me some stuff. He sent me Pistachio by them, and I was really interested because there's been like so many nutty things. It's again this gourmand trip that perfume has been
a new one.
Relatively, I think it's. I need to double check. Someone maybe.
They had like a spate of releases last year, maybe, or the year before that.
I think it's not too. It's not an older version. I think if it's new, it'll be within the last 2 years. And I think it's a really classy gourmand. I really enjoyed it. It felt quite tonkery for me, but in that sea of nutty things that we've had in the last 18 months, it felt very sophisticated in comparison to some of them. And if I'm really honest, the dry down became quite stashy. You know, the stash from Sarah Jessica Parker. It was surprising to me how close they both were. Obviously, the DS and Durga's got better materials, and it is better, but that pistachio note really comes through. And I think sometimes recently when I've been smelling some of the more new kind of nutty semi-gourmand releases, that when people go, oh, hazelnuts or pistachios or whatever, you're like, is it, or is it just a general nut vibe? Whereas with this, I really felt like it was a proper pistachio nut sort of feel. I liked it. I don't need a bottle, but I did really enjoy it. And then I also tried DS and Durga White Peacock Lily, which is a big white floral. And ostensibly on paper, I should really like it. But
it sounds very girly just from the name.
Oh, it is very, very femme. Very, very femme. And there's something slightly old-fashioned about it that reminded me of a detergent that a babysitter that I used to have to go to after school used to use, and we didn't get on. And I said to Nick, it's odd because on paper this is something that I would really like, but there's something really deep in my sense memory that means there's a smell about it, a texture about it that reminds me of something in my childhood that I just can't get on with. And I continued to wear it for about 2 or 3 days, just trying to push through it, because I think it's interesting with those situations where you have a memory of something and you're like, I know that this is a great perfume, I know it's really well put together, but I have a memory that makes me not like it. Interestingly, about 3 or 4 days later, I had to rush out of the house and I took a scarf that I'd sprayed when I was testing it, and I loved it. So the dry down is much easier for me to wear, but it was curious to me to find something that notes-wise I should like, those big white florals, but then there's something about the old-fashionedness. I was just like, oh God, no, this is wrong. But I couldn't get over it. I don't know. It's funny when those tummy things happen and you're like, I like it, but I don't like it.
So what was that? That's like a sort of negative scent association.
Yeah, totally.
But that you sort of like the perfume, you want to like the perfume, but it
just triggers something.
A memory of something that you didn't enjoy.
It just triggered something in my childhood. I remember the smell of the detergent of the lady that I used to have to go after school to her house for a couple of hours or till my mum got back from work, and her house used to smell of it.
Why did you not like her?
She was very strict.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were like Hermione Granger.
I know, but she was very seen and not heard, and Once, and she used to be all jam spoons and stuff. I once remember her getting really angry at me because I put my knife in the jam jar as opposed to a jam spoon, and she just literally was just mental at me. And if I had to stay the night, you had to go to the toilet at the same time every day. And if you couldn't go to the toilet when you went when it was the time to go to the toilet, then that was it. You were done. She was so strict.
Spit spot. What a fucking bitch.
I know. She was really, really, really strict.
Horrible, and just spoon for jam. I mean, what kind of fucking posh uses that shit? It's a knife, isn't it?
I don't know.
You know.
No, you use a jam spoon and you put it on the side of your plate, and then you use your own knife to put it on the toast. But
you get all the butter and margarine, and you've got bits of that shit in there weeks later for people to find. No, I hate that actually. That is gross. I just had really weird memories, and there was something about the perfume that the dry down one was lovely, but initially I was so sad in a way because I knew that I should love it. But when you said jam spoon, I thought she was feeding you sedatives on a spoon in jam or something. Put it all to sleep now. Come on, have your jam spoon.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. But it was really curious when those things happen. I think when your sense memory changes your ability to deal with a perfume, because we're all meant to be all cool and open to everything, but sometimes something just kicks in and you're like, no.
Just out of interest, have you smelled that before, or was it it transported you and you hadn't even thought about that until
it transported me, and I hadn't even thought of it for years?
It's not something that you detect in other perfumes and go, "Oh, there's that horrible thing." No, that's funny.
No, not at all. Really mad.
Okay, so that was DS Durga something white
peacock lily, which and I'm not suggesting people don't go and get it, because I think it is, like I said, the dry down on the scarf a couple of days later was lovely.
Suggesting people should, if you'd like to go and get immediately transported to Fliss's childhood with some strict bitch jam spoon wielding fucking babysitting cunt, then off you go.
No,
you should go for it.
It just interested me that was my response.
Yeah, good. Okay. Any others of note?
The only other thing that I think is worth mentioning is that I managed to get a full 50ml bottle of Donna Karan Gold for £12 posted.
Ooh. Which I haven't tried gold. What's it like?
Well, it's discontinued, and it's a bit of it's not quite a unicorn, but it's gorgeous, and it's hard to come by, and I can't understand why it was only listed on eBay for a tenner and I managed to get it for 12 posted. But it's a big lily, very, very photorealistic lily.
Then. Sorry, I just had to process that for a minute. It was listed for a tenner, so I got it for £12. Right, yeah, sorry, the postage then on top of it. Yeah, that does now make sense.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, that sounds like a bargain.
Yeah, it's a really big, lovely photorealistic lily. I don't think if you want a lily perfume, you're going to get any better than it. And I've got a couple, but this is boom, it smells like shoving your face in those big white lilies, and it's a bit spicy, and it's a fantastic soliflor. It's fantastic. I love it.
I find that soliflors are often they never come up. Do you know what I mean? That people never sort of bang on about them as their favourite perfumes of all time or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Even if they're great, they cannot. I think they fly under the radar quite a lot. I don't know. Name a single
I think they're quite old school, really aren't they? They are quite. I mean, there's not many sort of modern frags that come out that are just soliflors these days. I think soliflors they remind me of sort of a more vintage feel sometimes.
Yeah, and I think again they're almost I think they're the sort of thing that an enthusiast would appreciate much more than your regular muggle on the street who would perhaps sort of smell it and think, what? This doesn't smell like a perfume, or because I mean they do smell like perfumes, but they're obviously a lot more simple. So maybe I don't know. I don't know why,
totally, I get that. And it interested me that it was so cheap. I don't think that person knew what they had, because the others on eBay are going for 60 or 70 quid, maybe more. if they come up. It's a kind of sought after, discontinued frag.
I think,
but I'm pleased with it.
Some of the more common solid floors really are things like jasmine, because the material itself is quite representative, and you can, I don't know, I mean, you can like boost it up and stuff and actually use like real jasmine in those. But some of the most common ones are muguet, lily of the valley, which obviously isn't actually from any kind of real, it might have real things in it, but they're all constructed accords, which is funny because they all vary, and yet that is a solid floor. Do you know what I mean? It's quite a kind of wishy-washy way of going, oh yeah, here's just like I'm presenting one thing to you, when they're actually hugely variable.
Really complicated to get right.
Yeah.
Guerlain release a muguet every single year.
Every year, yeah.
And is it different every single year, just ever so slightly?
I believe so, yeah. I've smelled a few of them, but I've never really, because they're that thing that they do, aren't they? And they're more about collectors, I would argue, and kind of the thing.
Oh God, the bottle this year is so fucking ugly. Have you seen it?
I think I have, either this year's or last year's.
Kids have been at it with some monkeys and some plasticine on it. Yeah. It's just, normally the Muguet bottles are so exquisite, and this one is just like some modern art piece of
trash.
It's awful. Yeah, it just...
Well... I think with those, like I say, they're more for the collectors and stuff. I'm assuming they don't just re-release the same formula every year. They probably do,
somebody will write in and tell us, but I can't imagine it's the same formula in every bottle.
Well, I was speaking to a guy actually today, fascinating, and he works in the perfume industry, and he doesn't anymore. He works in a different industry now, but he did do for years, and he knows a lot about mainly your regular kind of designer stuff and a lot about the actual gubbins of the industry. And it was just fascinating, all the stuff he was coming out with, and just saying about, like, when things are reformulated and how they have to, get rid of stock. And he was talking about the grey market and the little RFID chip things and stuff. Yeah, he said so much though. I was just like, I had to go to a fucking birthday party at 10 o'clock this morning. Like, what kind of sadist has a birthday party?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, you want to have a fucking word with those people.
Do you know what? Everybody, because we had a bit of a meeting where we had a bit of a kind of session with the other parents last night. They were all kind of a bit worse for wear this morning. I was all right, but and I was like, are we really going to go to this thing at fucking 10 o'clock in the morning? And it's for a little girl who is still in Elliot's class, because they don't separate them out, but she's like 6, but she's got like, she's about 2. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they all look after her and they love her. And as soon as everybody heard, they were like, well, I was going to sack it off and I wasn't going to go and like, but it's Zara. Do you know what I mean? Well, I should change the name really, but they were all like, oh, it's this little girl. And so everyone was like, we've got to go. So that's why there was a full turnout of parents, and they were all like in the sunglasses, like sitting at the side like this. And it was like a banging disco like this at like 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, all with like, like the neon fucking light, like everyone's white stuff was like glowing in the black lights and everything. It was just, it's mental. So, and I just talked to him for like 2 hours about palettes of perfume. He actually did say, sorry, this is just to go off topic a bit, but he did say that years ago, they found in some factory of some people that he was working for, a palette of original formula Dior Poison, like years later, and said, they flogged it for like a fortune, like just on,
we should get him on Patreon.
We should. I don't know how much he can like say. In fact, he doesn't work in the industry anymore.
Well, we just change his name and put his voice through a thingy.
Yeah. No, do you know what? He would be really interesting actually, because it's just like, he knows he's coming at it from a different angle to maybe, he is a massive collector as well, but in a kind of different way. So, nice. It might be interesting to talk to.
No, just do that.
Any more from you, Fliss?
No.
No. Good. Right, that's good. That's
it's fine.
Quite I did.
I think we've heard quite enough from you. You've enchanted us long enough, Felicity.
yeah, you should be so fucking lucky. Right,
don't put your thumbs
Benjamin,
too close to the screen, Dan.
Yeah, no, fucking. I tell you what. I'm lucky I emerged from that bloody Ormond Jane thing with my thumbs both in text, because the amount of ice I was lobbing at Fliss was like mental. Right, Ben, what's been crack-a-lacking in perfume world with you?
So nice things. First, let's do that one. So I wore a perfume that I bought years and years and years ago. And, you know, the funny thing is I didn't buy the perfume for the perfume. I bought it for the cap because I wanted a cap for one of my Bulgari fragrances that I don't know why, but I'd lost it or something. So I bought a little bottle of one called Jasmine Noir. And I bought it because it was super cheap on eBay. It was like £3 or £4. No one had bid on it. And I was like, that'll do. I can nick the cap and then lose the bottle, whatever. But actually, it was really good. And so that was a great perfume that I've been wearing. So I dug it out the other day and I was just like, I haven't worn this for a while. I'll give it a go to see what it's like. And it was really fucking good, man. It was, so obviously, like Jasmine Noir from the name, you can tell it's a big jasmine perfume. But it's dark and woody, and there's not incense in it, I don't think. But I think with this kind of sort of spices that it's got and with the woods, you get a kind of woody, incensey sort of thing to it. And it's like a very mature, it's a very mature jasmine fragrance. It's not the sort of, there's nothing like girly about it, if you know what I mean. It's super dark, super black dress, you know, that kind of thing. Obviously, I wasn't wearing a black dress, but just because I was at home, you know, I wasn't going out.
Is it indolic? Has it got like a stinky aspect to it?
It's like Sarasansi.
Yeah. It's not the easiest thing, which is again surprised me for a Bulgari fragrance. But I think when it came out, it was part of some like sort of quite expensive line. It was. I think it was one of Bulgari's efforts at like a sort of exclusive sort of line, if you know what I mean.
You know that line, Dan. What are they called?
It comes in like a Jasmine Noir, and it's just in a little black bottle that's only about sort of so yay big, like a couple of inches tall, sort of thing. But it was really good, and for a jasmine, if you're into jasmine perfumes, definitely worth a shot because it was interesting in that way where it was super dark, super woody. There was some sort of melancholic kind of vibe to it as well. And I mean, talk about perfume for a character. Do you know what I mean? Like it was a great perfume for a character, if you know what I mean. It's you smell it and you instantly think like either like a kind of extremely powerful woman who wants to like break everyone's thumbs, or like
I don't know any of them.
Or quite a flamboyant, but it was a lot. It was multifaceted. It was good. I really liked it. So
I'm just looking it up now, but it seems to be very expensive even on eBay.
Oh really?
Yeah.
See, mine cost about £4.99. I say I bought it because it was the cheapest Bulgari fragrance on eBay at the time, and it had the cap that I needed. And that was
always the way.
Pennies.
It's all like rare and discontinued now.
Well, interesting. I think that does happen a lot. I'm obviously asserting this without lots of examples, but you know, when things get discontinued, more often than not, they are discontinued, I expect, because they are not commercially as successful as the brand requires them to be. And because they're not so commercially successful, they end up like being sold in bargain basements and such like. And it's only once all the stock has gone that, you know, the people who enthuse about it, you know, start to essentially keep looking for it. And that's what then starts to drive the prices up and stuff. So I think there is like a bit of a cycle, you know, stuff that's like now discontinued and expensive was cheap as shit.
It's like antiques, isn't it?
Yeah, hands up who bought Comme des Garçons Girl with the hopes that it was going to go through the roof in about a year's time. Back when it was about £8 a bottle or whatever.
James bought it at full retail, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. I mean, I got it out the back in the place when I went in because they were like, they didn't even have it out. And this was in Paris, like, because I was like, oh, have you got that? And they were like, yeah, we do, but it's like, it's not out yet or something.
But don't tell anyone.
Yeah, no, they still sold it to me. I mean, the whole place was behind is weird. It's the weirdest shop I've ever been in, but I still got it, and I don't mind that I paid that much for it, and that I got a cheap one as well. So I've got 2 bottles of that, and hopefully one day it might be worth a lot. Who knows?
I was wearing it today.
Like
I was wearing it today, and I was really enjoying it.
It's a great perfume, but I always feel like you can see the misstep a mile away. Like basically, it was like a sort of celebrity sort of based fragrance that was actually quite difficult to wear and not particularly crowd pleasing. Made by Comme des Garçons and then sold at like £100 plus. It's like this is not going to be commercially viable. I can tell you this a mile away. Like how many missteps do you want to make in one perfume?
And the bottle is great, but it's also a bit juvenile. But it's also great, but it's also a bit like
what teenager that's going to look at that Coors bottle and think like super cool Coors, like is going to be able to afford like 100? Because wasn't it expensive when it came out? It was like 120, something like that, 140, something.
I think it was about €90 or something like that. I don't think it was 100.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway,
okay.
So
well, that's your Bulgari.
Yeah, the Jasmine Noir, that was nice. And then the other stuff I've mostly been trying was Laboratorio Olfativo.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, I was knocking through a sort of sample selection I had of theirs, like a pack kind of thing.
They've got a few decent ones.
Yeah, it was a bit hit and miss, I felt like. To be honest, the funny thing is none of them really stuck out enough for me to remember any of their names. And I went on Fragrantica before this to sort of remind myself. And I was going through them, and I was going through the list. And
still can't remember.
And I didn't recognise a single name. So that's like how much they stuck out. But they were, I think, like... So yeah, probably not a great segment, but generally I thought they were okay. I will go back through them probably now and re-wear the ones that I enjoyed. There was a couple of like woody ones that I thought were pretty good. I think one of them, when I was looking, looked like it was probably a Lambar, which was a really ambery, like heavy fragrance that reminded me a little bit of a Roma, whatever, Profumum.
I think
Roma,
people compare that to Shalimar, but I'm like,
it's
not really like Shalimar. It's good. It's good. It's a good amber perfume. Like it's decent, but it's not Shalimar.
Yeah. That one's the one. Probably the only one that the name sort of. When I saw the name, I was like, that was one of the ones I tried, and that was decent.
They've got a horrible seaside one. I bet you like that one.
Oh, do you know what? I don't think I might have smelled that one because I didn't smell anything that was particularly horrible. Do you know what I mean?
Salina,
like nothing that was
something like
that. Oh, okay. It sounds horrible.
That
from
one
the name,
sticks out because
it?
it was like it's a bit jizzy.
Saline.
Not fun.
Yeah, Selena. Yeah. They've got Tonkade is quite pleasant. Tonkard, don't know how you pronounce it. And the other one that I've had is... Go on.
I'm just going to say, essentially, the whole branding and, the name and everything, it's just essentially an Italian Le Labo, isn't it, really? Like, sort of.
That's what vibes they gave me, yeah.
But they've got some good, the actual perfumes, like I say, I haven't tried them for years. I think I've returned to something that I found, like Ben was saying, just finding old samples and stuff and returned to them and gone, actually, they were pretty good. They're well-made perfumes and everything, but I'm kind of just like, there's not really any that have gone, like, I just, what's the point in you kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. Like I don't think any of them really stuck out enough for me to remember their names. I don't think any of them stuck out enough that I would buy them, if you know what I mean.
They've got a whole range by Jean-Claude Elena,
really?
None of which I've tried, but they all have names that sort of sound like they're very airy, kind of glassy, fruity sort of things, like pamplemousse and what have you. Pamplemousse. That's a fucking stupid word, pamplemousse. Especially if you say it in a strong man accent. Yeah. Pamplemousse. Yeah, okay, so that was Laboratorio Olfativo.
Yeah, and that's about it, really. You'd say the Jasmine Noir was my highlight, really, of the last couple of weeks. That Laboratorio was okay.
Was it all just samples? You haven't bought any bottles in the last couple of weeks?
I've not bought bugger all in the last couple of weeks. It's bad for my poxy cat to go to the vets.
Bloody cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I too have not bought bottles, really. I have bought like 2 and sold them both because I thought, I shouldn't be buying bottles.
That's unlike you.
Well, yeah, so it turns out, it hasn't happened yet, but it turns out there's a reasonable chance of me being made redundant at work. And so I just thought, I should probably try and learn not to be a complete profligate twat with money. So it hasn't happened yet. It may not, in fact, happen. But I'm quite keen at some point to jack in corporate life and give the perfumery stuff a sort of decent run and see whether I can actually turn that into a viable thing. Anyway, so this isn't something that fills me full of dread or anything, being made redundant. But it would mean that I would have to be a bit less of a cunt with money. So each time I bought a bottle, I was like, damn you stupid fuck, and I just sold it immediately, really just to prove that I can go a few weeks without buying perfume.
I hear you.
So the lucky winners of the buy and sell were Royal Crown Sultan, which is very nice and very sweet and would never be worn and completely pointless, and
wait, did you sell Sultan?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, did you want it? Sorry.
Actually, I don't think it is Sultan, actually. I think it might be a different one.
It's the Imperator that...
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, Sultan's a poor substitute for it, if I'm honest. And then Ex Nihilo, what's it called? Speed Legends Night Drive.
Speed Legends Night Drive?
So Speed Legends...
What the fuck is that?
Well, Speed Legends is the name of one of the Ex Nihilo perfumes, which is like a very bright, fresh sort of thing. And then they did like a noir version thereof and called it Night Drive, and it's in like a black and purple bottle. And it's kind of cool. I posted a picture of it on Instagram with the... I don't know if you remember Kavinsky, like very sort of atmospheric sort of electronic music, and was used in the theme of the movie Drive, with what's his fucking face?
What's
Ryan
his
Gosling.
face? Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, as a result, I rewatched Drive the other night, and it's still fucking superb. Such a great film to watch. And such a cool soundtrack. But yeah, my perfume haul has been net zero, which is kind of cool, I think. So I can't really remark anything exciting about perfume, so let's just get into James's full 14, which I think, are we going to be doing this slightly differently this week, James?
I think so. You tell me what I wore, because I have no fucking idea.
So this is... Dear listener, James's phone, from which he normally reads his full 14, has run out of battery. So before it died, he sent me the list, which is cool. So now I'm going to read out the full 14, and James is going to fucking tell me about them. But he's going to have to do so without reference to his phone. So
you should add a twist to the game, right? And like throw in ones to see if he wore them at all. And see if James remembers if he wore them or not.
I'll talk extensively about it and then be like, you didn't even fucking know.
I'll just make things up entirely. Like, on Monday you wore Oompa Loompa Sweet Fandango. What? Did I? Okay, yes. Monday you wore Side Story Road Trip. And you've got a little vomiting emoji next to it. So what Side Story is this? Is Side Story a brand?
Yeah.
I've never heard of them.
It's a new brand, I think. Got kind of nice looking bottles with what look like kind of stone caps, you know, when they look like they're like marble or some shit. They're probably just like plastic. But yeah, I got some samples from Bloom, I think, a few weeks ago, and that was one of them. And put the little sick emoji because it was a very vanilla-y perfume, and in actual fact, because obviously that Monday is the day after we recorded the last podcast, and I seem to remember that Chabot or whatever it was, the Ben sent Chabot that I haven't even sprayed, but I still remember the smell of the envelope and was like, oh yeah, maybe this is the same kind of thing. It's not. It's kind of sort of insipid vanilla-y. I mean, I wish I had my notes on it. This is really shit that I can't remember, but it was one of those that was an absolute abomination when I first smelled it. I was like, this is horrible. It's not only is it a vanilla perfume, but it's got horrible aspects of just like not nature, not even horribly synthetic, just horrible, just disgraceful. And then it gets all right towards the end because it's kind of sort of musky and lightly vanilla-y to the point where it's kind of bearable, but not good, mate, not good. And I was kind of like, oh, Side Story Road Trip. What's Road Trip going to be? It might be something cool, you know. It's not cool. They have some other perfumes that I haven't tried yet. Yeah. So
I mean, Road Trip, you'd imagine, would be like some sort of like petrol-y or asphalty kind of something along those lines, not fucking sweetness. Okay, on Tuesday, this is very peculiar for me. Now I'm telling you what you wore. On Tuesday, James wore Foras oxidized rose. There's a vomiting emoji next to that one too.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of puking at the beginning of last week or fortnight ago. Yeah, not good, mate. Not good. I'll just say Foras are a brand from Cornwall or somewhere like that. I don't know. Where's Folkestone? No, not Folkestone.
Kent. Folkestone.
Sorry, Jenny's just shouting. Kent. Sorry, not Folkestone. Thank you, Jenny.
I love that she listens.
She's not really that. I think I'm annoying her, to be honest. No, not Folkestone. Oh, fuck's sake. Look down the list. Is there another Foras on another thing, Dan, that says something green?
Yeah, Folkestone green.
Oh, there you go. What's Folkestone? Oh, well, they must be from Kent then. Maybe, fuck. So anyway, they're from down south somewhere.
They're from back in somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere where I get nosebleed if I go down there. I don't like it. So, no, basically, anyway, they're two guys, I think. They kind of look sort of hipstery, and they run a band, and they do all kinds of other things like soaps and fucking candles and all that other bullshit, I think. Just not really selling them very well. But, right, I will say this. I was interested because I like rose oxide, right? And I figured it's going to be rose oxide heavy smell, right? And rose oxide is a very tinny. It's in loads of florals. It exists naturally, but it smells like imagine like very turbo rose. It's not very nuanced. If that's overdosed in a perfume, that's why I thought, oh, okay, they're probably doing something really interesting where they're overdosing that, and you're getting this kind of really tinny, attacky sort of rose. You are getting that, but they've kind of done other things where they do have a kind of slightly powdery rose accord that comes underneath it, and some other little bits of things, and a kind of slightly herbal. It's very strange, and it's not for me. I think the beginning of it again is like, this is horrific. When we first spray it, you're like, this is not I think in terms of like originality of a rose perfume, it's not a boring oud rose. It's not another rose accord. It's not a bullshit rose, right? It's got some originality to it, right? But that doesn't matter if it's not very pleasant. However, later on, yes, it gets better. But again, these are all musks and base materials that are quite nice in the base of it. So is it well made? Maybe, because it behaves like a perfume. Do you know what I mean? It has top, middle, bottom notes. I can't criticize it too heavily because it was an experience, and I remember it. The fact that I've got no notes, no reference, because my phone's dead, to remember it, and I do remember it. And I think, good on them for doing what they're doing, but there's still a degree of lack of polish, and that was evident in the other one that I wore as well, which we'll about when we get to that, but that was that one.
Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, so in fairness, next to the vomiting emoji, it does say got better. So
well, there you go.
Fair enough. So. Yeah. On Wednesday, I've got here Mask Milano, but not specific about which Mask Milano.
Yeah, I just reminded myself because I wore, Mask Milano. What's the one you sent me, Ben? Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
Monte Cristo. Yeah, very nice perfume. What do all y'all think of it?
I don't know it.
Stinks.
I don't know. I don't know it, but I also feel the need to interrupt with something that I just remembered, which was on the last episode.
We didn't mention, yeah.
Well, no, that's something else then, because I don't know what that is. But on the last episode,
the guy who ran the brand,
of course,
badly passed away. Maybe we did mention it.
I think we did.
No, I think we did.
No, I don't know that we did. So it's the guy who created the Mas Milano brand died. You're quite right. But I just made a sort of a double, triple logical leap there. Because I thought Mas Milano, and then I thought Ben likes a vetiver one, and then I thought, oh yeah, no, hang on, Ben sent me that Serge Luton's vetiver, which I was sure I'd tried and sort of tried to bluster my way through last week, but then I actually tried it, and it's really, really fucking good. It's really good, but it's like it's not very. It's not very vetiver-y almost. It's just, I don't know, just a really
flip-flops between being like vetiver and chocolate, and it's quite
also
interesting.
Enormous. I did one little spray on my arm, and it's like, that smells great. And it just kept coming back to me, thinking that smells great. So I meant to correct myself from last week that what's it called? Vetiver?
Vetiver Oriental or Oriental.
Yeah, Oriental. Yeah, that actually was a fucking crazy perfume. So nice one. Thank you for that. And James, sorry to interrupt. I
mean, I put up a
Hyrax. It's got Hyrax, that Monte Cristo, and it stinks of piss and hamsters. It's really strange. Very strange perfume.
Well, funnily enough, I thought the same myself, and I look back to a review that I did, and that was from 10 years ago, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I think the same thing. And I kind of do, but I kind of also like I made out that it was a lot stinkier back then. Maybe and maybe it was just the thought of working Hyrax coming to get me. No, I thought it was.
What is Hyrax?
It's piss and shit from a little creature, and it all
did you just go?
Like that? You didn't.
Yeah. It all builds up. I'll get my cats coming thinking I'm feeding them or something. We call that the pat paps in our house. So you do the pat paps and all the cats come running. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to do it again because they'll all be fucking giving me grief. So,
it's piss and shit from the Pat Paps.
Well, no, it's from this little hyrax. It's a little creature. I don't know, a rodent or a cat.
Well, it says here in Science Focus that it is neither rodent nor rabbit, but it is currently endangered.
Hyrax is the name of the actual animal.
Yeah, Hyraceum is the actual deposit. So they live in like little caves and they piss and shit for their whole life, and they build
the
up.
same place, don't they?
Yeah, the exact same place. Yeah, and it builds up, and they harvest it because it doesn't do them any harm or anything like that. I mean, you argue like, why are they building it up if you can just fucking take it away? But it's a bit like bees with, their various things. It's this deposit that they have, and obviously someone went, this is a good idea, let's turn this into perfume.
Oh, interestingly, it says here their urine is rich in calcium carbonate, which stains the rocks white. Hyraceum, which is made of this petrified urine, is used in traditional South African medicine to treat epilepsy.
Wow.
Traditional.
I know, it's not actual medicine, is it? No.
Yeah.
But anyway, there we go.
Mean it's effective.
We'll find out. I'm going to keep Googling. You carry on, James.
So anyway,
you'll still have your fits, but you'll smell good whilst you do it.
I mean, it's pretty cute, this animal, I have to say.
Yeah, they are quite cute, aren't they?
Hence the Pat Paps.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, I didn't find it that stinky, and I'll say I put up a video of me. People spraying it on themselves because I had it in my pocket, and we were talking about perfumes, and I was out on whatever day it was, Good Friday was it, and I went round to a few different mates and I was like, oh, try this perfume, and then like videoed them trying it, and then I put it on Instagram. So none of them said, oh, it stinks or oh, it's horrible. I was like, do you not get this kind of body like cumin-y fucking stink from it? No, not really. It just smells kind of masculine, leathery, a little bit like grapefruit and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I don't disagree with any of that, but like, do you not get that undercurrent of that? And no, I think it's a very creative, very good perfume. Like, I don't really know what else to say to other than that. I think, yeah, it's very good, and I would definitely wear it. And I think Mas Milano are a very interesting brand, and they always kind of always stuck in my mind whenever I've tried them. Like we're saying about forgettable things.
I need to really have a good look. I've got loads of samples, and I need to just work my way through it. It's going to write down.
I can't get a sample set for love nor money. They're always sold out everywhere where I try and get one. But I mean, yeah, like going back years ago, yeah, I did try the ones that were out, but trying to revisit them now, they seem to be really hard to get a sample set. They're always sold out.
Cool. Okay. Well, after Mas Milano Monte Cristo, you had Dior Sauvage EDP, which
I mean,
is a
speaks
surprise.
Off really. I know you always say that. I own Sauvage, okay?
I don't know why it's a surprise.
You always bloody say it. You're always like, yeah.
But I mean, I own it. I don't wear. Oh well, I don't have the EDP. I have the extract one, but I still don't wear it. Maybe I should. Yeah, maybe I will.
Well, yeah.
Tomorrow.
Why the fuck do you wear it then? Why do you own it then? Do you know what I mean? Like, I have things that I own and don't wear. But
yeah. Well, I know.
Well, it's kind of one of those things you think, who the fuck wants to buy that secondhand? Do you know what I mean? Is people really in the market for that?
There's a market.
I know what you mean by it. I'm sure there is.
There's a market for all of it.
But the ED, here's my sort of history with it. The EDT I tried originally when it came out and went, oh, okay, I can see what you're trying to do, Dior. You've put it in those privé bottles and you're trying to mass market this kind of thing. And I actually really like that it has this kind of little tripod of things which I think are quite masculine. And I've said this before, it's got like elements of a thing, and I love the way that it took things that are so like generic, and I hate it. I mean, I smell it beaming off like dickheads in, stuck in a loft with somebody who were choking on it, and I get that it's very, it's very sort of Ambroxany ears and like in your face, and it's just fucking quite awful in some regards, and I get that, but I've said this before, I spray it, I walk through it. I don't like to just put one very diffuse sort of spray on me. I try not to get it too much on clothes and stuff like that, or spray it like on the back of my neck or something, and it's fine. Just one and done, and it's fine.
And all day long, do you have women throwing panties at you?
No. I think they stop. They stop throwing panties at me. No, I don't know. I think like the EDT is annoying, very high, sort of pitchy and fucking annoying. The EDP, they sort of toned down slightly, and you got some more of these other notes that kind of came through, and they were like, oh, reformulated it, and you're like, yeah, I can tell, but still annoying. The core of it is still annoying, even though that's the one I own. Because then the other ones came out, which was the Parfum
and the Elixir.
Yeah, which got progressively better, to be honest. Apart from, I know the Elixir is quite different, but the Parfum was the best one of that trio, I would say. And then the Elixir is something else.
So I've got the Elixir and the original EDT. I don't have the other two, though. Between us, we're almost a fully functioning person, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. So Friday, you wore Amouage Lyric Man.
Yeah, I love that.
That's the rose one, isn't it?
Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah. That was the day when I was wandering around, having a few drinks, doing my thing. I went on a boat trip, went out with the kids and just did like no kid stuff whatsoever. Everywhere we went, we were like, is there a bar where we're going? Right, okay, let's go there. So everywhere, they were like, should we go to the park? Nah, fucking just let me run around in the pub, it's all right. Yeah, that was it. So that's what we did kind of all day, and just ate food and did stuff like that and went on a boat. It was cool. And I just stank of that, and it was just like a nice trail coming off me. Can still smell it on the jacket or whatever that I had on. I love that stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing.
So, okay, so that's a good Friday. On Saturday, Atkinson's Platinum Blend.
Love that as well. I had no idea. It reminds me
that one.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Yeah, I know. I got it off some guy on your, let's say your group, Facebook group. That guy who always used
to get all the Atkinsons on the grey, didn't he?
Or some other nefarious kind of way. Guy. Yeah, because it was like, how have you got this? Like, because it came out and it was on a pedestal thing, and they were like, oh, this has just come out today. And for some reason, I was in Manchester at the time, and I tried it in Selfridges and went, oh, that's really quite nice. Strange, creamy, almost like a kind of very, very mild tyke or something with like licorice-y kind of notes to it. It's lovely. It's lovely. It's like a creamy perfume, but it's kind of masculine. It's got like peppery, licorice kind of like vibes to it. Really like it a lot. And then like I tried that, and then all of a sudden he was like, yeah, I've got like bottles of that in the box, brand new. It's like, how have you got this? And it was like half the price. So I was like, yeah, I'll have one of them. So I got that in. Yeah, exactly. Don't ask. But I got it because I got two of them actually. I've got another one like 42 Burlington Arcade or something like that. Is it? That's a peppery one. So yeah,
a classic gent type vibe, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's fantastic though, the Platinum Blend one, and it's got a kind of cracked bottle. It's like a relic guitar or something. You know, you get these kind of like new guitars that are like they stain them with tea bag. I don't mean they put their balls on them. I mean like they stain them with a tea bag and stuff like that, like on the fretboard. Do you not know about this? That's what they use apparently. It's a good way.
Fliss just gave you a very peculiar look. Like, what does this mean? You may have to look up tea bag.
Just said ball bag, and then Fliss is like eyes
they're lighting up. I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing to your guitar?
I'd probably advise not searching up teabagging on any corporate electronic device where you may get into trouble. This is definitely not safe for work. Cool. Atkins Platinum Blend. Sunday, Easter Sunday, Dior Eau Sauvage.
Yeah, I mean, it's to go to, innit?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
I got a compliment. I got a few compliments, actually. People saying I smell really nice because we had an Easter Sunday soiree at my house, which we called Sippy Sundays, and we had loads of people come round, and we had a great time.
Sippy Sundays.
Sippy Sunday, yeah. So it's all about the boozing. And yeah, and it was great. And yeah, that was it really. So I just thought I'll put that on, and loads of people went, you smell really nice. And I was like, yeah, I know.
You smell lovely.
Yeah.
All right, Bank Holiday Monday, Crisia Uomo.
Have I put a little something by that?
You put a little heart next to it, yes.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Crisia Uomo, which are
I don't think I've tried it.
Japanese brand, I want to say. Crisia.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Might be wrong, but I think I'm... No, they might be... No, they're Italian. Of course they're fucking Italian. Why do they think they were Japanese? I don't know.
It sounds like it could be a Japanese word.
True. No, I think they are Italian. Oh, well, Uomo. Fucking idiot. Of course, yeah.
Uomo.
But what made me think they're Japanese? Yeah, it's probably sounds a bit... Anyway, it's really good. I'm trying to think what kind of came out for me. Oh, it has this, like, it's basically like Corum. It's kind of peppery, manly, masculine, mossy, the usual shtick from like the 80s, 90s, whatever. And then there's this like creamy fig note to it, which really stands out for me and makes it different to all that kind of other shit. Because you could go, okay, it's nice, but it's just like other stuff. No, it's got a figgy note to it, which is really nice, and kind of sandalwoody, sort of dry down. Lovely.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Tuesday, Jupe de Bain.
Yes, because this was one that we talked about in the cheapies. Yep. Jupe de Bain. Right. Which is actually not dissimilar to Bandicaron. Does anyone know Bandicaron? Fliss?
No, but you've talked about it before, and I've got one saved in my eBay that's been there for bloody months.
Is it cheap?
So. I mean, I'm a bit like everyone else at the minute. I'm a bit strapped for cash, so it's just I'm there on a wish and a hope. To be fair,
don't buy it unless it's really cheap.
Oh, okay, thank you.
The idea is to stick it in the bath. Apparently, I know it's like my little fucking few bits of knowledge that I know that I keep fucking repeating all the time. It's really annoying me. So I don't know what other people think. You know what I mean? I get fucking pissed off with myself.
No,
but anyway,
I don't remember this piece. So
Bandicaron.
You can keep repeating it.
It's basically like a kind of cheapo thing. I think I got one from TK Maxx like years ago because I was like, oh, Caron. Bath stuff. I've heard of this. It's meant to be good. And you're supposed to put a tiny little bit in the bath, and it really... But it's not very strong as a perfume.
You ever seen that Brute advert where that guy gets in the bath and he's like, you put a little bit in your bath, and from like the 80s? Have you ever seen that?
No, but that's the idea.
Oh, it's magic. I'll cut it in because it's absolute magic.
Ah, cool. Well, I always kind of...
I want to hear this.
Summertime and the living is easy. I bet you thought that was Tom Jones. Anyway, there's nothing like a nice hot bath to make you feel great. And especially with this in it, the new Brute 33 bath foam. And you pour a nice big capful in the water. It makes your skin feel nice and smooth. And when you get out of the bath, you've got the great smell of Brute all over. Lovely. Summertime.
Whenever I think about that sort of thing, I always think about Alan Partridge putting a cap of Dettol in his bath, like once a month or something. I just put a little cap of Dettol in just to make sure you spick and span. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, this is very similar to that. It's got like a cleanness to it, like a kind of white musk, but it's not white musk. It's a very, very heavy, ambery vanilla perfume of like, just your stock amber cord, but it's very lovely, and it is like the warm coziness of like after you've had a bath sort of thing. It's not bubble bathy, it's not bubbly, soapy. It's very heavy amber and cozy, lovely, warm, vanilla-y amber. Really good, and costs fuck all. So I don't know why you wouldn't have it, in your collection, because it's good.
Headliner.app. Okay, I'm going to look that shit up, although I am trying not to buy anything, even if it's
fucking 10 quid or something. It's well worth it.
10 quid though.
It's all it's 10 quid these days, isn't it? Yeah.
That's food. That's
a pack of nappies
for a month.
Yeah.
It's barely food.
It's about a third of a pack of fags now. Somebody told me that 15 grams of Baccy, like Old Melbourne or fucking Golden Virginia, is like 30 quid.
Fuck
30 quid. No.
For 15 grams? 1.5?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I used to buy it in tins. I used to do the tins of whatever that was, 100 grams or something. And when I was at university, and the guy who had the shop round the corner, basically, he had them under the counter. They were clearly fucking like dodgy, like French fucking import. And you had to ask him specifically, and then say, "Oh, like John said you had some of these," kind of thing. He'd like look around shifty and get one out, and it was like 8 quid or something for a fucking tin, and that'd be enough smoke for an entire week. I don't smoke anymore.
Okay, sorry, I must have got it wrong. No, it's a 15. Sorry, not 15. I was over here. I was banging music today.
It's gone up, man.
So sorry, 50 grand for 35.30.
That is still fucking insane.
That's nuts, isn't it?
And you're paying that money to kill yourself. Fucking stupid. I mean, go figure.
Oh, 38.10 includes cigarette papers. The ciggy papers are 3 quid.
That's a bargain, then.
The papers are 3 quid. How does that work?
That doesn't make any sense. Rizzle were like 10p a pack.
I know. Anyway.
We used to have the Baccy man. I used to work in this cafe in Kensington Gardens in Brighton. It's like centre of town, and like all the like cool cafes around there, kind of thing. And every Friday, this guy would come round called the Baccy man, and he just had literally a fucking like great big like camping rucksack full of Baccy, and he'd sell you 50 grams for a fiver, all from France or whatever. Yeah. Like, it just used to stock all the workers in all the cafes, like in the whole of like Brighton.
I used to barmaid in a pub in London, and this guy used to come in with 2 head holdalls. Do you remember those head holdall bags?
Oh yeah. The detachable shoe bag.
Yeah, he used to come in with 2 head holdalls full of whatever. Yeah, and he used to set up a little table in the corner. He also had some dodgy CDs, but that's going to age us all, isn't it? I don't know what ages us more, the Tobacco Man or the CDs.
My favourite smoking thing was my mate at university didn't smoke cigarettes, but he would buy cigarettes, obviously, to make spliffs. And I went into a shop with him, and he sort of went up to the cigarette concern, and he said, "Can I have 10 fags?" and she was like, "What brand?" And he just sort of shrugged. He goes, "I don't know, fags, innit?" just 10 fags, please.
Just some fags.
Yeah. Excellent. So, I don't know how we got there, but, inflation. Jupe de Ban. Right, then you wore MDCI Chypre Palatin.
Let's all make the noise together. There you go. That's the review. Okay.
Not me. I don't know it.
What?
I don't even know if I've ever smelt it.
Oh,
I can't
Jesus
remember.
Christ. I'm going to send you some. I'm going to send you some.
Smelt it.
Yeah. Fuck off.
I must have smelt it, but I don't know.
I'm smelling it right now.
Oh, dude, you would like it.
I might smell it now. Right, hang on. Wait.
Oh, it's fucking divine.
God, it's good, isn't it?
It was. I had an audit. I had an audit this week.
Why did you wear it?
Because I had an audit.
An audit?
Yeah.
Top
you
10
wanted to smell really impressive.
Chypre Palatin.
Yeah. Well, no, it was just like, come on, I'm wearing a shirt. I've scrubbed myself up a bit so I don't look like a complete fucking scruff. And because I've got to impress this person so they don't fuck you over on the thing, and be kind of impressive and professional. So I thought I'm going to smell, as pretty much as good as I can smell, and that for me,
that is about as good as you can smell.
It is.
The shit is good, man.
Good.
Shit is good. Cool. Right, Thursday, 4-arse. Folkestone Green.
4-arse.
4-arse.
Dan, you would
4 hours.
You would hate this. You'd fucking hate it.
I would hate it.
Yeah, you'd hate
I
it
thought
with
you were going to say I'd love it.
No, with a passion. You'd fucking hate it. It's very.
What is it? Pepper and tuberose.
It's very, 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 very green with galbanum, and I recall you don't really like that. It's kind of
not really.
It's kind of my mum fucking hated it as well. She was like, "Nah." I just had to sit in the car. And she's like,
"Mother and I are peas in a pod. We have good taste."
It's very floral as well. So it starts out with a very zinging green like thing, but the galbanum's not even like galbanum perfumes that I really like. It's not like old, Cellier type stuff, or it's not even like modern. Strangely, galbanum can have, and sometimes the accords and things that it's used in, or it's mixed in perfumes in a certain way, and the actual material itself, I can understand that the resin can have this like chocolatey thing to it, right? Which is weird because it's green and like stemmy and whatever, but it's also got this weird chocolate vibe to it. This does definitely have that. Also smells like ivy to me, like really dark. I said like nitrogen rich, kind of like overly dark foliage kind of like vibe to it. It's outrageous. And then this floral accord comes on, which is actually really good and nice, but it's kind of it's almost like Narcissus kind of daffodils, like wet florally kind of like vibes, and then goes through this kind of thing, and then by the end of it, all you're left with is like galbanum and a kind of petitgrain feel to it as well. So it's extremely green perfume. You've got to be. It kind of annoyed me, and then kind of was like, it's all right, and then it kind of yeah, they're all a bit of a challenge, these 4-ass ones. Some of the other ones that I'll probably try in the next lot of perfumes are horrendous, and I know they're already going to be, and I'm going to wear for experimental purposes.
I like to try and find something positive to say about small indie brands and stuff, and it sounds like they're at least doing something fucking strong.
Yeah,
like they're not it might not be a great perfume, it might not smell very nice or whatever, but at least they're not just fucking going, here's our fucking
clone of this,
here's our interpretation of,
correct.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that, and I understand
cool.
that. Yeah, but I also think like if you've got like no polished stuff, and again I hate to say anything about her because I really like her as a person, I think she's awesome, and I think her brand's great as well, but like that kind of Sarah McCartney kind of like vibe of let's smash loads of like really disparate like weird things together to make a perfume, and you're like, yeah, that's cool, and it's a great idea, and conceptually it's really interesting, but it's kind of like the weird kind of smells for the sake of it, and it's not really like polished perfume for the reason that I like perfume. So it's that in complete overload of that, and I understand it, and I sort of think, yeah, it's good to have that, but it's when that is married with that kind of finesse and sort of something that makes it like perfumey, that's when you get the magic of you doing something original, and it's very hard to do, and I appreciate that the creative aspect of it. They like to say they could have just taken a brand and gone, let's have a sandalwood one, let's have a fucking one of these ones, let's have that one, and they would just poorly execute it because they can't do it as good as maybe some brands can, or they could just phone in some shitty formula that they've bought from somewhere and just do it. So I appreciate they're not doing that, but I just think there's just a little lack of like something to take it to that like next level. But there's always chance. There's always chance that they could do. But yeah, some of the other ones are really horrendous. They've got one called Bitter Citrus, which is just like not really bitter. It's not. It's bizarre. Yeah, anyway.
I quite like the sound of bitter citrus.
Oh, it's fucking madness.
That sounds like it could be my jam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, not with that face. I don't think it's going to be. Right, well, we're closing in on the end here. On the Friday, you wore Celine Reptile.
Yeah.
Or Reptile.
Yeah, Reptile.
Reptile, I think.
Which is a very peppery fragrance. Yeah, I know Dan's not on board with that, are you? Kind of reminds me.
I don't mind pepper. It's just when it crowds out everything else, and particularly there's something about that kind of pink pepper vibe that I just find a bit vomity.
It's not that. It's more black peppery. This and it has a feel to it of a little bit of something like the Serge Lutens, the Shishido. Fucking head's gone. What's it called?
Féminité de Bois.
Féminité de Bois. That sort of rosewood-ish thing, sort of, kind of, little bit. And then this peppery, it's like a kind of Balmain, some of those Balmain ones. There's one called Carboni, I think. Balmain de Carboni or something like that. And things of recent stuff like the Comme des Garçons black pepper, kind of a bit like that as well. And it's good. I mean, it's Celine. It's good, but just you've got to be into that kind of woody pepper bullshit. And I'm not particularly, but
well, fair enough. On Saturday, you wore nothing. A deliberate nothing.
Not a deliberate nothing. I kept telling myself, I'm going to wear something. I'm going to wear something all day. I'm going to wear something. I'm going to put something on at some point, and then just never did.
What? You forgetful bastard. Okay, and then Sunday, which is today, you wore Kuros.
Ooh.
One spray to the forehead, boom.
Boom.
Kuros for days.
Oh, I mean...
Kuros for the kids'
yeah,
party.
I stink exactly. I was like 10 o'clock in the morning, kids' party, you're going to fucking regret inviting me. I probably wore about 8 sprays, maybe. Brutal.
I used to love the smell of that on my dad.
My
Amazing.
God.
But not.
Okay,
but I would say not
good.
before midday, though. Not till after lunch.
Yeah.
No. 10 o'clock with a hangover, probably pass. Okay, so that was good. Thanks for that. And I enjoyed doing the full 14 that way. It's like I can dole them out like little sweeties. I can control the pace, which I rather enjoyed that. We should do that every week. So I don't know if you mentioned anything I've been wearing, really.
I was about to say you haven't told us about you.
Well, so we went to Barcelona for a few nights, and I don't know, I've been having one of those can't be arsed with perfume kind of dips again recently. And went to Barcelona. The only perfume I took with me was a clone of Widian 71, because it was like just sat on my desk. It was an Alexandria one. It was sat there. It was a 50 ml. I thought, well, I can put that in my hand luggage, and that was it. That's all I took, and so I wore that for 3 days, and it was perfectly nice. It was okay, but I didn't even bother going to a perfume shop at all. I did briefly. I mean, when we go on these city breaks with the kids, we walk we walk a long way. So we were only there actually for about 48 hours. We were in Barcelona. We walked 50 kilometres in that time.
Wow.
Which is like properly fucking beasting it. But we did walk through El Corte Inglés department store, and I tried 2 perfumes. That's all I tried. And one of them was one of the new Givenchy line. And I can't remember what it's called. And it was a sort of oody thing. And it was sort of okay. I was like, I just sprayed it. I was like, oh, fuck off. I've just smelt this like a million times before. I don't care. Why would I spend fucking 250 quid on this? It's just bollocks. And the other one I tried was H24 Herbs, or whatever it's called, Herb Vive, or whatever. Herbs Vives or something, which actually I rather liked. And I thought it's probably, to me, that seemed like an improvement on the original H24.
I was going to say, it's got to be better than the original, right?
Sorry?
I was going to say it had to be better than the original, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. I didn't rate the original at all, but this sort of seemed to kind of tone down all those, that sort of icy, cold, sort of minerally sort of vibe. It tones that down a bit and gives it a slightly more, as the name might suggest, a softer sort of herbal aspect. And it smelled nice. Wife said, "You smell nice." I thought, I smell nice. And I thought, I still don't give a fuck about it, and promptly left. And that was my perfume experience. Also, we went yesterday. We drove. Oh, fuck me, did I drive? Like 4 hours round trip driving. Drove to Rugby to visit some friends. And I wore Henri Jacques Important, which is a sort of citrusy, like orangey, citrusy leather. It's a bit like if Ted Hermes kind of went all renegade leather, but it's just so classy and elegant, and it lasted all day, and just, it doesn't sort of like beast mode project or anything, but it just sits there smelling nice. And I came home thinking, yeah, actually I really enjoyed this. And this is the stupidest fucking story I think I've ever told on this podcast, but my wife was sat in the back of the car with the dog, because she likes to sit on the back seat with the dog next to her and stuff. So my eldest daughter sat in the front seat, and we're on the motorway, and my daughter, being the fucking arsehole she is, farted. And so I was like, "Oh, mate, you can't do that." So I opened the window. So on the way back, driving down the motorway at fucking 80 miles an hour, fucking window open, trying to get rid of the smell of farts, and the wind coming in through the window then sort of made the perfume sort of whip around the car, and I could smell the perfume again like 8 hours after putting it on, and I thought that was brilliant once the fart had sort of dissipated. So there you go. If you ever want to smell your perfume,
get a child to fart at you.
Yeah, you don't really need that bit. You just need to open the car window. But I needed to explain why I would have the car window open on the motorway.
I was going to say she's going to love you telling this, efficient. But none of her mates are going to be listening, are they? So I don't think we've any listeners under fucking.
It's all right, James. Nobody listens to this. least of all 17-year-old fucking girls
as
like friends with my daughter.
We know, do we? 3 stars.
Well, yes. No. Yes, there's known unknowns and unknown unknowns and stuff. Right, well, anyway, on that incredible farting bombshell, I think we should wrap up part 1, because I have my random number picker here for part 2, which is going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to be back after we've grabbed something to drink, in my case, non-alcoholic. And we'll be back with part 2 in just a couple of minutes. Stick with us. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of Les Oderants. This week we are trying to make amends. You see, for those of you who don't know, before Fliss joined us, it was just a bit of a sausage fest. It was me, James and Ben. And whilst we were, of course, brilliant and erudite and wonderful in all things perfume, we lacked a certain class and sophistication that really only Fliss could bring to us, with the whole ice cube fucking...
tit thumb thing.
Tit shot. Tit thumb thing. Yeah. we're basically, this is a do-over. Fliss joined basically because she got in touch and she said, you guys did an episode which was where you did various scent scenarios and it was fucking shit and I hate you cunts and you better get me on your show to sort it out.
I did not say that. I did not say that.
Wow, all right. You threatened to break our thumbs like you always do. Like she always fucking does. And so this is an attempt at do-over because we didn't do that one very well, according to Fliss, and so this is her chance to put it right. So we are going to...
I love it.
The other thing is, we were talking about the fact that lists sell, right? I mean, everybody likes a top 10 list. Who doesn't like making lists of perfumes? Who doesn't like, it's all very enjoyable, lists. So we wanted to make some lists for perfumes, perfume situations, top... It's probably not going to be top 10. It's probably just going to be top 4 because we only get really to choose one each. But top 4 perfumes for summer. Top 4 perfumes for spring. that kind of thing. Except, of course, the scenarios.
Top 10 perfumes for date night. Top 10 perfumes for panty droppers. Top 10 perfumes for sexy girls. Top 10 perfumes for pretty girls. Top 10 perfume for just girls. Top 10 perfumes for the last time I did a top 10 perfume, which was yesterday, for fuck's sake.
Top 10 list. Yes. Top 10 cunts.
Just like
it's excruciating, isn't it? But people
they
like
do.
Lists, let's do our own list. Okay, so I have been harvesting some scenarios here, right? And rather than me pick them, there are 20 scenarios, and so we'll just get through as many as we get through. But Ben is going to pick a number between 1 and 20, and I am going to read out that scenario, and you will all, as indeed will I, have to, on the fly, come up with a sense, an appropriate scent for that scenario. So, Ben, pick a number between 1 and 20.
9.
9.
Do you know why I picked 9? Because my favourite ever birthday, because I've got a Lego head.
Well, there's a bit of a potential birthday angle to this. This is top fragrances for taking your kids / nephew / niece to the zoo. Top 10. Top 10. Top fragrances. So you're off to the zoo. You got your child. Whether it's your child or you've had off a relative, or hopefully not one like you've abducted or anything weird like that. But you've got your child, and you're taking them to the zoo. They've got their little sort of backpack on with their packed lunch, and their little hand reaching out to sort of hold yours. What do you smell of, James?
I mean, this is really uncreative of me, but it'd have to be a zoologist, wouldn't it, really?
Right.
And I think Ben's like, I wanted to do it too. I think it would have to be that Sacred Scarab one, just because the zoo probably wouldn't have any scarabs, would it? It's kind of a fantasy sort of creature, isn't it? Really, it's not a real. I know they're a real beetle, but they're like the Egyptian one's kind of all jazzed up in it with like gold on it and shit. So yeah, that I think, because it was really, really good, wasn't it? And a very sort of stinky.
It is really good, yeah.
Yeah. So probably that's nice. Just because it's got zoo in the name, and I'm going to a zoo, and I'm quite
sweet,
simple like that.
Sweet. And is Elliot happy you're wearing this?
He doesn't give a shit, dude. He's just doing his own thing, and
You're creating memories. You're creating memories for the boy, and
do you know what? He went to London this week. He went to London and he loved it, which is total opposite of his dad.
So that was it. You told him to get out and not come back.
Did you refer to it as that there London?
Yeah, that London. I said, "Oh, you're going there?" No, he went with his mum, and he had a magical time. And he went to all the places, and he was like, "Dad, Dad, the flag was up and the king was in his house, and I saw the changing of the guard, and I saw the beefeaters, and he saw, like, you know, all the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben and all that kind of stuff. He was just buzzing and went to the National History Museum and all that stuff. So good, and I'm glad, and they had a bit of time, and I pathetically missed them as soon as they gone. I was like, couldn't wait. Play tennis every night, and I can, like, kind of wank and, you know, just like do what I want. And,
the minute they leave the house, they all start wanking.
At the same time as well. Like,
you know, just
you get chucked out off the country club for that one.
Takeaway, Deliveroo every night. You know, just watch the thumbs and just, you know, whatever I need to do, just do it all simultaneously. No, but then I was just like, I missed them.
Oh, it's so sweet, so sweet. Right, okay, yeah, puke. Right, so there's your zoologist, whatever the fuck it was, sacred scarab. Fliss, you're taking 1, 2, all the children to the zoo. What are you wearing?
I take the kids to the zoo quite regularly.
You frequently do?
We've got a family pass for the year, so it's like a really easy, free thing to do. Vintage Eau de Hermès or Marbet by Eris.
Ben, you're off to the zoo. You've presumably borrowed a niece or a nephew?
A nephew, yeah. I've got a couple of them. I'm actually borrowing them tomorrow morning, which I'm thrilled about.
You sound it. You sound it.
Yes. But no, I was thinking, right, like my first thought was I don't want to wear anything that's going to attract animals. But then I thought, fuck it, go with it, right, and try and attract the animals. So I changed my mind to go with the original zoologist bat, or what is now Night Flyer, right? Perfume Night Flyer anyway, which is the original bat, because that smells like damp mossy caves and bananas. So I would be curious as some sort of social experiment to see if I could actually get the monkeys to be my friends. That would probably be. So if I was going to a zoo, that's what I'd do. I'd wear the original bat, smelling like bananas and moss and damp, and I'd be like, come on, monkeys, come be my friends, and see if I could take some home.
Nice. Well, whenever I go to the zoo, I wear a beige suit and a cravat. And I of course wear Ralph Lauren's Safari, because that's what all trips to the zoo should smell like, I think. In fact, I did wear Safari this week, and I am just, as ever, when I wear that, just think, yeah, what a fucking good perfume this is. You can't fucking argue with it. Although someone asked me whether I'd smelt the women's one, and I can't remember smelling it. But
that's a really sought after gem.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How is it?
I because I can't really remember, to be honest. I think it's discontinued. I'm not sure. But it's
you don't own it.
No.
Okay. I thought that might be one. Yeah. Can't remember. Okay. Well, that was top 10 fragrances for taking your kid/nephew/niece to the zoo. Not bad. We can do better. James, pick a number from 1 to 20. 20. Number 20 is running into your ex. Perfumes for running into your ex.
Just running into.
Yeah, like literally.
Yeah. Running in the street.
Oh, sorry. No, actually, you were an ick. So
running them over in a fucking car. Not that I'm, advising that you should run anyone over in a car, but okay. So, perfumes for running into your ex. Fliss, you look like you probably.
I don't give a fuck. Genuinely, I'd wear bloody anything. They're an ex for a reason. If they're an ex and we're still good friends, then they know that I have a gamut of smells and they won't bat an eyelid. If they're an ex and we parted on poor terms, then fuck them. I'll just wear what I'm wearing that day. Genuinely, don't need to scent myself for them.
That's such a fucking girl boss answer, isn't it? Just like, fuck you with your thumbs. I'll snap with your thumbs off. Fuck off, you cunt. I'll wear what I want. And that's it. Yeah.
Don't you throw your ice at me, you cunt. Wow. Okay. I mean, Fliss, you understand that that's not how this game works.
I don't need to impress them. I don't need to do...
Yeah, fucking no perfume. Fuck them.
No, but I was like, I'd just wear whatever I've been wearing that day, and I wouldn't have bothered to pick something out to please them or impress them or make them to feel sad or sorry that maybe they miss me. No. Piss off. Get on with your own life.
What was that, James? You'd pick something to what?
No, I think that's a great answer. You'd just be like, yeah, why would you give a fuck? Do you know what I mean?
Fuck you.
Yeah. I can't say that now, though, can I? Because Fliss is
No, you have to pick a perfume.
I have to think of a perfume like the actual game.
Yeah, go on. Ben, I'll come back to James because he's thinking. Ben, you've run into your ex. What perfume?
I was just thinking, like, what was the heaviest bottles that I've got? So that, because I was thinking, that, then I can sort of
lob it at them.
Just sort of throw it at them as like well, fuck you.
Why do people like? I mean, I can't claim that I've got a great relationship with any of my exes or anything. I don't. But why is it always so fucking vitriolic?
It's not though.
I know. The funny thing is actually when I think about it, like I've never really had like a bad relationship with an ex. Never. Maybe like either nothing or good.
I mean, yeah.
But in this situation, the first thing that came to my head is they're coming around to get things from my house, and I'm like, clear off, and throwing like Dior bottles at them. So, it's never happened. Doesn't reflect my real life, but.
Have you got an Electimus bottle? Those things
I've not, but they are
insanely fucking chonky. Yeah, it fucking honestly inflict some very nasty damage with one of them. Not that I'm suggesting.
The Gucci Pour Homme too that we were talking about.
That
is a fucking the corner of that. It'd go in you.
I go in you. Properly fucking injure someone with that. Okay, but you actually do have to pick a perfume.
Okay, so it's Christian Dior Sakura because it's almost full as well, so that's going to give added heft as it flies through the air. 300 mil of that coming at you. That's.
I love that it's a weapon, and you've not started on good terms with all these exes.
Well, they'll smell nice, reasonably. Actually, not even that good. Maybe that's why it's not even that good of a perfume. So yeah.
I mean, I guess. Something like Chypre Palatin, just living your best life. Oh, hi, over there. Just, catch a whiff of it.
Exactly. Who the fuck are you? I'm Chypre Palatin.
As we said, smelling the best you would possibly smell.
Yeah.
I know what I would wear.
Go on.
I'd have to get a bottle first, which would be like fucking nightmare. I would wear Aaron Terence Hughes Slut.
I saw
like,
this,
read between the lines.
That's very good. I saw. I
mean, the lines are quite thin with that one, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of reading, no. But I saw a thing where he was doing a review of Tom Ford. Vanilla Sex, and he's like does a sort of eye roll and goes, "This is the stupidest name for a perfume ever." It's like, really coming from you? I'm afraid, Aaron, you get no opinion. Also, and I'm fucking
bastard. Just springs to mind. Boss bastard.
Yeah, no, there's slut. There was that one, Fanny. And I don't think he did one called Fanny, but he probably would do.
Do you know why would he do that though? It's because he's a maverick.
Yeah, fucking maverick. That fucking video was so cringe. Okay, all right, fuck it. Let's not dunking on Aaron Terence Hughes. He can do that all himself. Okay, so you would wear slut. I think that's very good. I don't know. I think I'd probably wear something like Eau Sauvage. Just say, yeah, I'm all fucking grown up. I'm grown up and I don't really care about you. You're a cunt. Yeah. Good. Okay. So that was perfumes for running into your ex. Basically, Fliss havered between wearing no perfume and wearing Chypre Palatine. Ben wanted the heaviest thing in his collection, which I think was Dior Sakura, and James went for Slut, which would basically, I think the act of buying a bottle of Slut would actually make me kill myself. So. That's never going to happen.
My relationship history as well, doesn't it?
yeah.
I like them because of that, but it also was the downfall of the relationship. You know.
Yeah. What first attracted you to the slut? Well,
isn't it? You know.
Yeah. Good. Right. James. No, you just picked. Didn't you? Ben picked first. So, Fliss, you get to pick next. A number between 1 and 20. You may not have the numbers 9 or 20. 3. Top fragrances for putting off a stalker.
Oh, well, that's it. Top. I've only got to think of one because I.
Sombra by Strangers Perfumier.
I mean, not to dig too deep into people's past here, but have any of you had stalkers previously?
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Have you, Dan, as well?
No.
This is always we're such a good focus group because we always have there's always one of us has had something happen, and 50% of us have had stalkers.
50%, yeah.
Well,
so I mean, I think that's I don't know what the population at large is like. You know, I don't know whether 50% of the population at large have had stalkers, but yeah, I mean, it would be alarming if they had. But I mean, I should say also for the record, I've never stalked anyone, as far as I know. I just really wanted to be friends with them. Yeah,
just want to be best friends. I just want to be their boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't know how much you want to share, Fliss or
I
Ben.
don't
I mean,
at all.
You don't. No, fair enough. Okay, well, tell us your perfume for putting off a stalker.
I would say Sombra by Strangers Perfumier.
But you'd have to wear it. I mean, is that
no, I just spray it in their eyes.
Like sort of pepper spray.
Use it like mace.
How about you, cunt? Yeah, nice. Yeah, okay.
Herbapura.
Oh, God.
That one.
Yeah, no, that'd be, Jesus. I think the problem with that is that it's like, it's a nose to spite face type problem, isn't it?
Yeah, they're both
you'd actually have to. Fucking Herbapura. God, no. Ben, is there anything you can tell us legally about your stalker, or would you not want to share?
It's not that exciting. It just this when I was a student,
she was really nice. This, like, Japanese girl that we were like doing like language exchange, but then I think really she was far long way from home, probably very lonely, and just really wanted a friend. But really wanting a friend meant coming around my house, ringing my doorbell every day at like 5 or 6 times, and like baking cakes and leaving them on the doorstep. And when the one time I did let her in, she sat in my bedroom folding all my socks.
Wow.
And I was like, "What are you doing?" She was like, "Just folding your socks." I was like, "Okay." But realistically, it's very mean to call her a stalker. Say she was probably just very lonely and a long way from home, and I was probably one of the,
But I've read about this. This is like Stockholm syndrome, isn't it? Where the stalkee sort of starts making excuses for their stalker, and it's terrifying. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm worried about this, Ben.
I'm just a soft touch. Yeah, if you want to stalk me, knock yourself out because I won't mind.
Yeah, I'm available for sock folding. And
go away, but just make sure you tidy the kitchen first.
I never promoted it. I was always like, you can stop that.
Yes, please stop. Although the sock folding and the cakes are very nice, I must say. Good. Right. Your perfume for vanquishing a stalker then.
So we've talked about it already, but I reckon Dior Sauvage, because you can blend into the crowd. It's like ninja, innit? It's like they'll never know, you never smell you coming. because you just smell like everyone else.
Okay. Well, I was going to go with Dior Sauvage actually also, but for a different reason. So I'll pick a Ventus. You can
go for the
same
EDP
reason.
or the parfum.
I'm going to go for the Elixir. It's a totally different perfume. I think if I had a stalker, I think I would wear a Ventus. They sort of realised I was, highly attainable by lots of people. I'm generic McLad, which I suppose actually is probably a similar sort of thing to blend into the crowd. But it's like, I'm nothing special. I'm just wearing a Ventus. James, you're trying to put off your stalker.
I was just going to go for Mont Blanc. What's it called? Star Walker, just because it rhymes with stalker, which is just as good a reason as any, isn't it? I'm not going to go for that because it's a fucking stupid answer. I'm actually going to go by anything by Xerjoff because my stalker would go, cunt, this guy, what the fuck am I stalking him for? He's a complete arsehole. Sorry, Ben, you've got loads of those, haven't you? No. But most people who are like those kind of like Amore people, those Amore fucking people who are like, oh, Xerjoff. I think if your stalker realised you were one of those, they'd go, no, I'm going to stalk someone else. So I think you should put off the stalker.
Turns out.
There you go.
Yeah, I used to stalk this guy, but it turned out he was into Xerjoff, so yeah. Okay, so we're getting rid of the stalker perfume. Right, who's not had a go? I've not had a go, but I'm going to have to just pick a random number then. So I'm going to go for 37.
I'll pick a number for you.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it. Go on.
6.
Top 10 fragrance. Well, we're not doing 10, but fragrances for sitting on the toilet reading the newspaper. Does anyone do that anymore? I mean,
what's a newspaper?
They scroll through their phones.
Yeah, I'm sure I read a stat that was like something like 80% of Tinder swipes are done while sitting on the bog. Fucking ridiculous.
Swiping on the bog.
White bog swiper. Well, I was taking a dump and I spotted it and I was like, yeah, no, I really like her.
Yeah, she's the one for me. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Top 10 fragrances for sitting on the toilet reading the newspaper. Ben.
Laura Mazzoni hard leather because, again, blending in with your environment. Yeah. So basically, like the theme for tonight, I think, is me blending in with my environment and
like a chameleon.
Yeah. Laura Mazzoni hard leather, and then I could smell like a toilet whilst I was doing it.
Does it really smell that bad?
Yeah, I'll send you some. It's great.
Do I want some?
Well, so the funny thing is, it smells better after about 10 minutes, but it's relentlessly cloying and heavy and sweet. So even when it starts smelling less of shit, it still smells quite harsh.
Horrible.
But I like it, but it is horrible. And it is the closest.
I like it. Just listen to the words you just used there. I mean, when you're editing this, play it back to yourself and then see if you can square that with the statement, yeah, I quite like it.
Well, it gets worse because I was about to say it is the perfume that smells most like actual human shit that I own.
Yes.
And you were, I was going to say, you're just double checking you own a bottle. Yes. It's not just like a sample or...
Fucking 100 mil. How many times
have you bought it of your own volition?
And I even bought it from a retail shop for, I think, about £140. Might have even been more.
Wow. You're mad, aren't you? I'm so pleased you're here.
What, I'm not out on the streets hurting people.
So I will go slightly differently on this. Not necessarily sitting on the toilet, but the sort of concept of reading the paper. I sort of associate that with kind of chilled out Sunday morning sort of vibe. And there is a Frederic Malle perfume called the Dawn, which is a very incensey perfume, which I recently got. Actually, it's a superb perfume. I managed to get it like
it's the really expensive one, isn't it? The Dawn and the Night.
Yeah, it is. It's silly, but I got it very heavily discounted. In fairness, but you know, for just chilling out in some Sunday sunshine somewhere, reading the newspapers, that's very nice. It's a very sort of meditative type fragrance. I wouldn't associate it in any way with actual sitting on the shitter. It's more of a sitting somewhere pleasant, but reading the papers and just kind of taking things easy and luxuriating on a Sunday morning. That would be a perfect perfume. Fliss, your top sitting on the crapper perfumes.
I was going to say very similar to you, actually, in terms of just something very relaxed, and for me, something slightly rosy to cover up any potential smells, but at the same time, you know, you've got the window open, so it's fine. But that kind of reading and relaxing at the same time thing, I would say something like Hippie Rose by Healy, which is a lovely, fresh patchouli rose, or Rose Silence by Miller Harris. Again, I just have got that feeling of that kind of airy rose, but a rose with a little bit more than just a soliflor. Got a bit of patchouli underneath it, a little bit of oomph. But yeah, that Sunday morning rosy smell is what I was going to go for.
Nice. And James?
I really don't know about this one, right? Because just to be kind of gross and sort of overshare stuff, you know, like always.
Yeah, I mean, because we don't do that here at all.
Yeah, exactly. I have ulcerative colitis, and I spend a lot of time on the loo, a lot more than like normal people, right? So it's kind of like I'm on there a lot of the time anyway, so I'm kind of like, this is like a fucking busman's holiday for me. You're saying, people go on Twitter on the toilet. I do everything on the toilet, right? Most of the time I'm messaging you, I'm fucking probably on the loo. The fact that I run my own business, if I had to work for somebody else, I don't think I could fucking hold a job down because I'm in the loo most of the fucking time. I'm not even, this is like debilitating, right? So it's fucking horrible. So to be honest, I don't know, something comforting, something that I can't really smell, because again, you don't want associations. You don't want the combination of like shit and like nice stuff, do you? Because nothing really. Just trying to cover up horrible smells with other smells is not really the answer, is it? No. So I don't know. I'm going to say just default to something like something really low lying. In fact, I'm going to go for something that's just got shit longevity that doesn't like really. I'm going to say 4711 or something like that. And I've already sprayed it on. I've already sprayed it on like time before, and it's kind of dying. And yeah, that's my answer. It's not a very good answer. I have thought about it.
But it's like,
good answer.
You know,
I'm sorry that you have that condition, my darling.
Oh, that's okay. You know, you can
it's
get
not
it done.
Okay, really, is it?
Well, it's not, is it?
Tough.
But you can get a lot done on the toilet as well. So it's not, you know, it's not the worst thing. You know,
highly productive bog-based
you can have a lot of fights on Reddit. You can, you know, you can ogle women on Instagram. You know, just the usual stuff that I do normally, but just I'm having a shit at the same time. You know, so
okay, good.
Right, Mazzoni bowl, just quick. This would have actually been a good one for the X because it's sharp and heavy. Yeah, and quite sharp edges, like
chunky. Yeah. I mean,
and it would smell like shit.
Okay, so this is like you know, when you like you assemble the list of all lists. This is like the bottle you choose for the for winning all of these. Okay, let's pick a different number. Ben, I think we're back to you.
14.
14. Top fragrances for sorting your recycling bins. I mean, this is the stuff of YouTube, isn't it? I mean, you know, Mr. Smelly, eat your fucking heart out. We are making lists here like a motherfucker. I actually have a continual disagreement with my wife about sorting and recycling bins, because I'm very pro sorting recycling bins, and she's very pro just wanging the fucking stuff wherever it'll fit, and then I go
through it again and take everything out and put everything back in again. Take things out of the main bin and put it into the right bin.
Yep.
And if it's raining, I don't put the cardboard out until right at the last minute. Do you know what I mean?
Fliss, I feel like we are as one here. We are like, you know, on the same fucking wavelength.
Every day I pick things out of the main bin. I'm like, that's a bit of plastic. That should go in the plastic bin. And I rinse it out and I dry it off and I put it in plastic. That's a glass jar. What's the glass jar doing in that bin? That should go in the green bin over there. Why have you put... Why is this cardboard over here? Well, now it's got food on it. Well, now it's got food on it. I can't put it in the cardboard. But it's not going to... Blah, 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 blah. It's not glamorous.
Why is there an empty pot noodle container in the food bin? There's food in it. No, it's not fucking food. That's plastic. It's probably not recyclable anyway. But yeah, sorting out the recycling bins, I spend a lot of time doing it. And I think a good, strong oud-based perfume is ideal for that, because often the recycling bins can be a bit pungent. And so I'm going to go for Paris Monte Carlo Oud Imperial Extract, and I'm offering this one simply because I can see it on my desk. It's right here, and it's actually rather dinky and cute, and it is. They're really, really elegantly, like, straightforward, simple. I mean, it's a small bottle, slightly ornate cap, but really, it sort of lets the perfume kind of speak for itself, kind of thing. I like that. This is a bit like what an Oud Wood Intense could or should have been. You know, it's a bit. It's got that clean, soapy oudiness to it that Tom Ford Oud Wood does, but it's much thicker and heftier and more durable. It's much more natural. Smells like a wood perfume rather than the Tom Ford thing, which is, you know, basically just a sort of soapy sort of affair. So that's the one I'm going for.
If I was taking the recycling out, I think, again, I just want to smell really glamorous.
Glamorous, darling, for the recycling bins. Are you sure?
Yeah, totally. At any given moment, I just think any of these mundane tasks, whatever you're wearing, even if you're in your tracky bums, your sloppy J's, you're still in pyjamas, you just want to be smelling fabulous. So, yeah. I mean, obviously, Sheep Propalatin goes with everything. But maybe something like, it really does, something like Cartier Panthère, but the vintage one with the panthers up the side of the bottle, or any of the Cartier Oud line, Oud Santal, something like that. You know, just Diaghilev. Just nice. Take your bins out to Diaghilev. Why the fuck
something
not?
something
enormous that you like, that iris.
Yeah.
No, the tuberose Dentalocur, yeah, just exactly, just like, I'm taking my bins out and I smell fucking amazing. Not only do I smell fucking amazing, but everything is organised really perfectly, and I've washed all of the jam jars, and I've given all of the Coke cans a little bit of a rinse so they don't get stinky in the bin, because I'm perfect.
Wonderful, really wonderful. That's great. I should add, because I live in Manchester and I live in a terraced house, as a lot of people in Manchester do. We've got an alley that runs down the back, and I live in a mid-terrace house, so our bins are in the alley. What? A mid-terrace?
No, the alley.
Oh, alley.
Oh,
yeah, alley.
Do you know what they call it in Liverpool?
Jigger.
An NC.
Oh, what?
An NC.
NC. And then
I'll say it in like the King's English. Yes. Entry. So there's a famous like video of It's a bit terrible, really. It's some like smackhead going, "I'm in the entry," and he's like looking for him, and he's hiding or something, and someone's speaking. He's going, "I'm in the entry." Anyway, so yeah, no, they call it an entry.
My wife calls it a jigger, and some people call them a ginnel, and all sorts of weird words. But yeah, it's just the alley to me, ginnel. But so anyway, I have to every Thursday I have to take the bins up to the end of the alley. And during the winter, I have one of those little lights that I put on my head. You know, those head torches, so I can go out and make sure I don't stand in anything inadvertently or whatever, or fall over. And every time I go out, the entire family laughs their fucking ass off at me about what a twat I look.
Just because you've got a little head torch?
Because I've got a fucking head torch.
Well, it's so practical, darling.
Yeah, why don't you put the fucking bins out without a head torch, you twat? Well, that's what I say to them. That's how I talk to my family.
Yeah, but 3 sprays of fucking more and a head torch. Be fucking done with it.
Yeah. Right, where's me Imperial?
Like the front, there's probably so many potholes that you need that. So you
exactly.
Twist your ankle or something.
So you don't fucking fall into some sort of like gaping fucking sinkhole. Right. Anyway, I don't know quite where we were going with that. So Fliss is smelling fabulous. I've gone with the Oud Imperial. Did we get yours, Ben?
No.
No. Okay. I'm going to pick on James next because, like,
great.
He needs catching off guard.
You don't have to put fucking bins out.
Listen, if it's good enough for fucking YouTubers to make lists about, it's good enough for us. I'm pretty sure they're all
paid. Do you know what I mean? They're getting paid for views.
Trust me, we're making mad bank off this. They're all fucking clamoring for our recycling bin perfume lists.
Well,
can you imagine like Amiraj getting in touch with us and saying, "We'd like you to put this on your next top 10 fragrances for taking the bins out." How much will you charge?
Bit of news. I don't know whether this is again, it's another little nugget that I got from a certain pal of ours, friend of the show, about L'Oreal buying a stake in Amouage. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I saw that.
True? I don't know. Is it?
I think they're considering it. Yeah, they're considering it, but it'd be a minority stake. It was on Bloomberg, I think, but I'm not sure that it would change anything if they're just minority. They're presumably just looking at it going, well, that business is growing, we'll have some of that, thanks, just fucking we'll buy a bit of it and watch our investment grow.
I get that, but people get worried, don't they? Because especially like fragrance fans are like, no, L'Oreal don't touch anything because they seem to
everything turns to shit.
Yeah. So anyway, bins. I would wear something vintage, I think.
Oh, nice. For vintage bins, yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably wear Alain Delon Iquitos.
Oh, nice. Because you mentioned it last week.
I mentioned it last week. It's fresh in my mind.
It's really good, though. It is full of... It's full. Oh. It's going to overpower those bins, but you're still going to be amazing.
Fuck your bins, man. Fuck them.
Yeah. Fuck your bins. What colour are your bins? I'm interested.
Who gives a shit?
What colours do you like?
What colours do you like? I don't fucking... so we've got blue for newspapers and cardboard. Right. We have brown for plastics and glass. We have green for food waste and grey for everything else.
Oh, it's grey, is it? So your normal, like your black bin, which is not black, it's grey.
Is that your everything else one?
Yeah, everything else.
Non-recyclable stuff, basically.
What colour are your bins, Ben?
I don't know. In Brighton, they're all rainbow coloured. Rainbow
yeah, whatever colours we
surely.
want. People paint their bins and all sorts.
Why does that not surprise me? It's bright. I've painted my bin. I've crocheted it a little hat. Fuck off. Yeah. Right. So
do you want my bin?
Can we just complete this with some colours ins? What colour are your bins?
I feel that this is unnecessary, darling. Because I'm too busy organising them to be. I don't wish to talk about the colours. No, very different. Black for everything, green for food, red for paper, blue red for paper, blue for glass and tin, and then a little brown bin for food waste.
Yeah, mine's the same as yours, but the blue and the red switch. So
I'm editing this all out, so let's just stop.
Please do.
No, leave it in. It's important because I think if anyone in power, just say Rishi Sunak was listening to it. Rishi, if you are listening to this, you're a cunt. But if he was listening to it, maybe he could fucking see the madness that is the different regional fucking bin systems. There's no consistency.
No sense. It's crazy.
Right. Francesca Bianchi,
he doesn't put his own bins out there, does he?
He doesn't even know what bin
he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
Francesca Bianchi,
under my skin. And my reasoning is because of this, right? I live in a city and you open those bins and it could be anything in there. Like, usually only about half of what I put in there will be in there next week. And there'll be other things that I definitely didn't put in there because people just, I don't know, they just tamper with your bins. You never know what you're going to get. So what I'm thinking with Francesca Bianchi, right, is it's quite a musky smell, quite a soft, musky smell, but there's nothing really in there that could be confused for something rotting in your bin. Whereas a lot of my other perfumes potentially could. So I don't know. I'd confuse myself. I wouldn't know what I'm smelling. Like, I don't know if I open this bin, can I smell something bad that I don't want to see, or am I just smelling myself? Whereas under my skin, if you can smell something funky, then it's not the perfume.
But so serious question, right? Because I know, like, the perfumes, a lot of the perfumes you love are so fucking, like, insanely, like, unpleasant. But, like, do you actually smell what other people would consider unpleasant smells and then think, yeah, there's something I like about that? Like, I don't know, but like fucking, I think I mentioned my granddad used to love the smell of fucking muck spreading. You know, the smell of manure.
Yeah,
it's not. It's fucking disgusting. It smells of shit.
I love it because obviously I live like by the South Downs. So you get that like once a year, and when it gets to that season, it smells fucking brilliant, man. Love it. And I love. Used to in Lewis, there was an old brewery. They used to like roast the hops and that, and that a lot of people used to hate that. And I used to, it's fucking gorgeous, man. On an autumn day, like cold, smelling those hops like roasting, amazing. And the other thing I really like, which is really gross, where I used to work in a supermarket when I was like a teenager, right? Like 15, 16. And we had this big fucking trash compactor and it like just stank of this weird, like juice, like acidic, it's like almost like tart, pungent, gorgeous, man. So like the smell, like really complex and confusing, horrible smell, but just really complex, and you can smell it, and it just changes every time, and it's really interesting.
So forget Brighton, Ben. You should move to Runcorn. You'd find
Well, Runcorn just stinks generally.
It's awful, man. It's like chemical factories and like chemical manufacturing and stuff. It is fucking rank, and there's just like a cloud over it constantly. Like it's dim as fuck.
So when I not two facts about Runcorn. So Runcorn is, I believe, like the arithmetic centre of the British Isles. So, like, if you sort of drew a kind of top to bottom like line, it's halfway between the top and the bottom and the east and west of England, Scotland, and Wales, I believe. Which explains why there's so many logistics businesses in Runcorn. And there used to be an advert on TV when I was a kid. which was advertising Runcorn, right? I know, weird. It was advertising Runcorn for people to set up their businesses, saying, come set up your business in Runcorn. It is the fucking centre
from everywhere.
Exactly, it is the fucking centre of the UK. And then it would say, call. And then they gave a woman's name and phone number, right? And this has stuck with me, right? I swear to God, this has stuck with me. I can't remember the number, but I'm going to find this fucking. I bet it's on YouTube somewhere. The woman's name was Eileen Bilton, right? And it said, call Eileen Bilton on ... And then they played Dexy's Come On Eileen. Right. I swear to God, this was the advert for fucking setting up business in Runcorn. Very, very strange. I'm going to look that up.
Oh my God, that's so Alan Partridge. If that happened on Alan Partridge, it would just be, people would just laugh and think it was funny.
I don't know. This was seriously. This was a thing.
With ready-built units and fully serviced sites, no wonder London's moving our way. Call Eileen Bilton in Warrington Runcorn, the nation's most central location.
Just on the subject of weird and unpleasant smells, I used to have to play rugby at school. I fucking hated rugby, but we used to have to play rugby, and the shitter you were at rugby, the further down the sort of teams you were, the further out towards the factory you played. And the factory was basically they made farm they made like livestock foods.
That's
kind of
the
thing.
worst. Yeah, that's bad, that shit. Yeah,
it smelled so fucking bad, and so that smell of processing what must just be like
make like
fucking
little pellets or something. Yeah,
exactly. Fucking vile. But that combined with like wintergreen, that sort of, I don't know, like eucalyptus type sort of stuff you'd smear all over.
A liniment.
God, I feel fucking sick just thinking about that. But that combination of smells, bad smells, very triggering, and would take me straight back to being like 11 years old and being in like the fucking. There was so on the top pitch was the A's and B's. On the second pitch was the C's and D's, and on the third pitch was what everyone just called the rejects. I was in the rejects. Even the fucking teachers called us the rejects. It's fucking tragic. Anyway.
They wouldn't get away with that now, would they?
No. They'd have to fucking call us the...
that WhatsApp group would be on fire, wouldn't it?
Yeah. They'd have to give us some sort of prize. They'd have to call us the improving squads. Right. Okay.
Did they make you play rugby when it was like frost? Like there was like frost on the ground.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful, that, wasn't it? Like that was proper, like
verging on child cruelty.
It's like
I only played for 1 year. I was in the swimming team, and after the first year, basically got excused from rugby because I could go and swim all the time. So, which was great. But so very specifically, when I was like 11 years old, first year of grammar school, fucking playing rugby next to this fucking vile factory. Just what a smell. I can still smell it. Right. So how many have we had? We had 3, 4, 5. So that's back to me then, I think. Is that right? No, that's not right. So someone else pick one. Fuck it. I'm going to pick one because I can see what they are. So I'm going to pick 15, which is a first date. And I thought maybe we'd pick something nice for a first date.
Well, that's actually semi-serious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Almost, yeah. And this may or may not be the last one of the night, so make it a good...
Oh, it was romantic.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying romantic. I mean,
No.
But first date, or it doesn't even have to be, I guess, first... it doesn't have to be a person of the opposite sex you're trying to fucking develop a relationship with. It might be like a fucking first meeting, a new friend or whatever.
It's fucking hard though, isn't it? Because you're trying to impress. Like, I've got really good fucking good taste in perfume, but at the same time, don't want to go over the top because you've got to tread a fine line between like, yeah, check this out, and yeah, I'm just like everyone else. I'm not fucking mental. I haven't got 400 bottles on my shelf. I promise.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine how fucking boring we must be to people who aren't into perfume? It's like, it's like those people who talk about fucking CrossFit all the time. Like, fucking really, no one gives a shit apart from you and your CrossFit stuff. Perfume is our niche. Nobody outside of this niche is remotely interested. So you have to find a perfume that sort of somehow conveys elegance and class and,
without
perhaps
being
invites.
mental.
Well, it invites the person to maybe dig a little bit deeper, but also doesn't sort of, put them on fucking, what the fuck does this idiot smell like?
We're like the horoscope. We're like horoscope person. Do you know what I mean? Like, suddenly just going like, oh yeah, it's dead important. And they're like, it's just a fucking smell and like, perfume's not important. And then you taste it. Yes, it is. It is important.
Like going on a date and them going, as you walk towards the restaurant or as you walk towards the cafe, them going past like a vinyl shop or something, or I don't know, to go, can we just pop in it? And then you spending 3 hours for them, sifting through vinyl of atonal jazz, and you'd be like,
I think Ben and I quite enjoy that one.
I know.
I love
that. Right. Do you know what? I just thought that's a terrible example for this. Like, I think 75% of this team would like to do
after this as well for 3 hours.
So anyway, this shop that sells vinyl and perfume, which is like fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Mad. Okay, well, I mean, my perfume, I think, would probably be Nikolai New York Intense.
Of course.
Because it's a fucking lovely perfume. It's grown up, it's smart, it's sensible. It doesn't maybe necessarily say a huge amount about you as a person, but it certainly says, I take a little bit of pride in how I fucking smell.
I'd slightly beg to differ on that, in that I think it's quite bold. I agree that,
really?
It's classy, it's all that stuff. Yeah, I do. I think it's quite, even in that sort of genre of what it's in, I'd say it's not necessarily safe pair of hands. There's something quite sort of striking about it. That's just me personally. I don't know. It's got a slightly unusual quality that I wouldn't necessarily think that everybody like. Not that I'm saying that that's your criteria for it, but like Ben was saying, there's a certain level of, do you want to go all out, like, first of all? Yeah, so we're talking about first date, for example, first impressions and stuff. In fact, I don't know whether we don't have to mention any names, but I was talking to one of my friends who has been like seeing this guy for a while, and she was like rating his sexual performance out of 10, as you do, and obviously they'd been like the first time together, and she was like, yeah, I really like him, and he's got this going for him, and he's really good, and he's really sound and all this. 5 out of 10. And that's just on the first go, right? So she's had one go on him, and she's like, yeah, 5 out of 10. Well, she said 6.5, but I'm being generous, it was more like a 5. And I was like, that's not very good, is it? Because like on your first impression, you're supposed to be like, you're meant to fucking put in a graft, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Or like try and do some shit that's like, it's supposed to die off maybe after that. Do you know what I mean?
But also maybe you don't know each other very well, so you haven't really spent time learning about stuff.
Exactly my point that I'm making. So brilliant, Fliss. It's exactly very good, right? This is what we're saying. So do you want to impress yourself upon somebody, or do you want to learn about their body and stuff like that? Do you know what I mean? Or is it just look, or is it like, do you really put loads of merit in that? Or she might go, okay, give him a chance. He's got a few goes to, I'll give him some pointers and stuff. And maybe people don't necessarily want to go in all out with their like king straight away. Ben's like, go straight in with the king.
Yeah, straight in with the pegging.
Yeah, exactly. It's more nuanced. So it's the same with the perfume. If I'm talking about a first date here or something, or first impression, where you don't want to necessarily be like, I'm blasting everybody in the room. Like, I wouldn't necessarily wear this chorus. for a first date. I'll just throw mine in just while I've been fucking waffling for ages and giving away my friends' like personal information. I'd say something like, because I love Rive Gauche, right? And I would say that epitomizes that classy thing. And I don't see, because I see that Dan, that's in the same vein of what I'm talking about, but I would say that has an element of something that maybe somebody could maybe pick up and go, oh, I don't really like that. Whereas I don't think Rive Gauche maybe does have that. I think that's even more safe, if that's what you want to call it. So maybe that's one I'll throw into the ring. There you go.
Nice. It's a good call. I mean, I think we're probably driving at a similar sort of theme there, maybe a bit of disagreement about the actual vehicle of choice. But
I'm clean, I'm well put together, I'm okay, I'm a safe pair of hands.
But also I'm not gonna fucking choke you out with Dior Sauvage or whatever. I'm not gonna fucking, I think anything in that spirit, and I guess we're of a certain age now, right? Perhaps if I was like fucking 18 going on a first date, then maybe it'd be different, but we're of a certain age where you don't want to lay it all out there in fucking one go. You don't want to wear something completely crazy and mental and go, whoa, listen to me, look, talk about perfume for the next fucking 3 hours. It's more, you just show something a little bit interesting that sort of is, hey, maybe you'd like to talk about this. If you don't, that's also absolutely okay, because I'm acutely aware of how fucking dull I must be when I talk about perfume to people who are not interested in it. So yeah, I think we're thinking similar lines there. Ben, your first date perfume.
So I reckon it would be Louis Vuitton Nuit de Feu, for all those reasons you just stated, but also because it does sort of show a little bit of my taste, a lot of my taste, but in a bit more sort of respectable way. It's leathery, but it's toned down. It's incensey, but it's toned down. The whole perfume is relatively quiet, which is good. And so I think probably Nuit de Feu, Louis Vuitton. And it's good as well. Yeah. It's fucking good.
Well, I think all the Louis Vuitton ones are fucking good. They've had some fucking serious work done on that range. Good shout. And Fliss, first date.
I think I would wear something that I bloody love and is innately me, that I've been wearing for a long time, that I feel is so part of me, that if they didn't like, it would just be almost like an extension of them not liking part of my personality. So for something like Belle M is a newer one, but Féminité de Bois, Putain de Palais by État Libre d'Orange, Ombre Fétiche by Goutal.
Ombre Fétiche, Jesus. I mean, that's not fucking holding back, is it?
It's not, but I might only wear 1 or 2 sprays as opposed to 7 sprays, but I wear it so often and I love it so much, and I've been wearing it for, 17 years or however long it's been out. I can't imagine not being able to wear it. And I know that we had that whole, my husband and I had the whole Coromandel gate where I had to sell my Coromandel.
Dead chicken gate.
Dead chicken gate. But there are some frags that I think for me are so part of me that if that person didn't like them, I would take it quite personally, and I don't think I'd want to not ever wear them again.
Just weed out the
very gently,
chaff,
just gently weed out. Because if you don't like me wearing Ombre Fétiche, then I've got another 35, 40 amber frags that you're not going to like either. And so
what you're saying is dating Fliss is a bit like a challenge of a series of like progressively more difficult challenges, and if you pass this one, you get the next challenge. And
well, I mean, some of the ones I've chosen aren't particularly challenging, but I think you're like Féminité de Bois. Again, I've been wearing it for 20 years, and if I can't wear it for the next 20, you're out.
Yeah, I think there's a good argument for that as well. It's almost like a sort of, it's almost like a basic compatibility test, isn't it?
Basic compatibility. I'm not rocking up in Marbet or Bascoul or something.
Say something bad about my
poor fella
perfume.
a chance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say something bad about my perfume and I will fucking launch you into next week, or I will break your thumb. Yeah, that is the Fliss way. Look, we have been scenarioizing, if that is indeed a word. It probably is in America. Hey, I've been scenarioizing. So we've been scenarioing for some while, and I feel like we're obviously never going to get through 20. So I reckon maybe either before or after the next Turin Gate, because we still have to finish that shit off. We're very much not complete finishers over at Les Oderants, but I think we're going to have to come back for a few more. So, look, final thoughts on the episode this evening. Any perfume remarks you would like to make, Ben?
No.
Ever concise and eloquent. Fliss.
I think that pretty much I would wear Sheep Repellent in every single scenario and feel great. I think that's my takeaway.
I have sprayed Sheep Repellent during this episode, and
Me
I smell
too.
fucking why not? I smell fucking amazing. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. James.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say. I think similar to Fliss, I think ultimately it's about how you feel in whatever scenario, and really matching things. This has become like a thing that people say, just to make content and videos like us with this episode. But, it's that thing.
Ours is better.
We're taking the piss out. We're ironically taking the piss out of all the top 10 lists by making some lists. But essentially, the message is the same, isn't it? The message is your message, which is just rock whatever the fuck you want whenever the fuck you want to rock it.
Yeah.
And there's no top 10 that's going to get you any of the things that the top 10 say they are, really.
Well, there's no reason to match anything to anything in your life, is there? There's no reason to match something to a scenario. And no matter how much everyone tells us that there should be, brands or, people or Jeremy fucking Fragrance or whoever tells us that, this is a thing now that people do. No, it isn't. It's just something that somebody said once, and it really doesn't fucking mean anything. But it's been fun to explore.
I enjoy the scenarios, and they're like a little vehicle for pulling a fragrance off the shelf and talking about it a little bit. It's not when you see top 10 lists for like YouTubers, they are almost always trying to sell you something, or at least sell their own content in some way. Top 10 fucking panty droppers is probably the worst of all the lists, and they're all it's all bullshit, fucking incel clickbait nonsense. Our lists are of course not clickbait at all. Top
amusing ironic takes on lists themselves.
Top fragrances for sorting your
down our nose at these fucking idiots. No.
Cool. But yes, our lists are, of course, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but I think, top 10, top fragrances for taking your kids to the zoo or sitting on a shitter reading the paper, putting off a stalker and stuff that we've covered. These are all unlikely to be worrying any top 10 YouTuber fragrance reviews for the time being.
It's nice to just think about your collection, though, isn't it? It's nice to sort of go
I was going to say, I've got all of my decants, all of my 10 ml handbag size decants from my whole collection out, plus my 2 drawers of my Osmotique, all on a little side table next to me. And I've been happily sniffing them the entire time we've been recording, and it's been a delight.
It has. It's all been a delight, as indeed has your company. And, we will be back in 2 weeks' time with more delightful perfume-based bullshit and finger breaking or thumb breaking, whatever the fuck it was. So, my advice for all you people listening is do not fuck with Fliss. She will break your thumb. We will be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we'll all still have opposable thumbs. We'll be back in 2 weeks with yet another episode of this absolute bullshit. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Bye.